All right. And now we are live. Any minute now, our friends at the Unapologetic Show will be wrapping up. So, I'm live now. Howdy, howdy, folks. Good to see the Bible guy here. Oh, shit. 1 second. I just remembered something. There we go. All right.
Yeah, you could quote medical
Oop.
research all you want.
That's not what I wanted to do. Okay, open up my secondary TikTok so I can let guests in. Howdy, howdy, everybody. Make sure to tap that screen, share the live with those you love, with those you hate, with your friends and with your enemies. Tap that screen like Jonathan wanted to tap King David. Hart says, hi, Dalton. Howdy, Hart. In fact, I'm going to share the live out. And if I can do it, then so can you. Joel raids whomever. Daniel says because you have nothing to lose. Daniel, that's not true. I actually have a lot to lose if I needlessly practice a very restrictive religion like Christianity. And there's no good reason to practice it. Why would I waste my time doing that? Just wait until Ashlyn gets here because I have something to show her that's actually really funny. I want to put the rainbow one on because Christians don't like the rainbow. I wonder if God will send his best warriors today. You know what, warrior? I'm skeptical, but we'll see. And today, by the way, I'm going to be wearing, look at this, Data over Dogma. This is some of Dan McClellan's merch right here. I'm representing. What made you choose the Bible over other religions to have a topic on? Because it's the topic that I'm most educated in and most familiar on. And I don't, unlike a lot of people on TikTok, I don't like to talk about things I'm not like educated on. We have here Transplenda. Transplenda, I'm going to ask you the same 3 questions I ask every single one of my guests, irrespective of who they are. Question number 1, are you at least 18 years old?
Am I what?
Are you at least 18?
Yes, I'm 44.
All right, question number 2, are you a Bible believer?
Yes, culturally. I don't believe in the literal interpretation. I believe in the Bob Price, Richard Carrier version.
Richard, so you don't think, so you don't believe in the Bible? Because Richard Carrier doesn't believe in the Bible.
No, I believe it as a symbolic myth text referring to allegories and greater truths that exist in the 7 heavens as the ancient Catholics, the original Catholics believed.
Okay, we'll get to that in a second.
Sure.
And the third and final question, what are your pronouns?
I thought you cared about data. Why are you talking about nonsense? Like, there's boys and girls. If you don't know I'm a boy,
you believe in 7 heavens, but you don't understand how pronouns work? It's wild. So I'll ask you again.
Pronouns is
what are
junk
your
software
pronouns?
you uploaded. Pronouns is junk software you uploaded. So you don't care about bad data, obviously, because you sound like a fool.
So if you can't like answer a single question, a simple question.
No, but it accepts.
Then how am I going to have a conversation with you? This is a litmus test, and you're failing it so badly. So again,
no. I think
Trent,
I'm reminding you that it's lunatic software you're running. If you're,
it's not lunatic software. This is like actual like social sciences. I'm sorry that you're a little bit behind on the social sciences, but why are if you can't
identity transcending.
Listen, if you won't stop whining like a baby, and if you can't answer my question, sure. I don't talk to people who can't answer questions. You couldn't answer my question. You wanted to talk to me about your Looney Toony belief about the Bible being like a mythical text or whatever, and it having deeper meaning. But if you can't answer questions, I don't want to talk to you. All right, we have Aish Maddie Wetz. Aish, I'm going to ask you the same 3 questions I ask every single one of my guests, irrespective of who they are. Question number 1: are you at least 18 years old?
Yes.
Question number 2: are you a Bible believer?
I believe in the power of the Bible.
We'll dissect that in a second. Question number 3: what are your pronouns?
Any pronouns.
They, them's fine?
That's fine.
All right. Aish, they, them. I'm Dalton the Bible Guy. I do not believe in the Bible. Aish, why should I believe in the Bible?
Well, because it's kept the masses enslaved for 2,000 years. It's a very powerful occult book that has wielded power on the face of this earth and caused wars and...
Sure, but that doesn't tell me why I should believe that the Bible is true.
Doesn't mean you should believe that the Bible is true. It means you should believe that the Bible is powerful, that it has wielded that power over mankind for centuries.
It doesn't have power in and of itself. People with power utilize it. But again, like, this doesn't... I'm not really interested in like whether or not the Bible has been abused by people in power. I'm only concerned about whether or not the stories and history of the Bible are comporting to reality.
I'm sure that some of them are. I'm sure that there's historical texts within the Bible that are true and accurate. I wouldn't say that.
But to be clear, you're not an actual Bible believer. You don't believe that Jesus was the Messiah, or that Moses parted the Red Sea, or any of that.
No, I'm actually a Satanist.
All right. Well, listen, people. I don't know why people are coming up today that don't actually believe in the Bible. Like, we're here to talk to people who believe in the Bible, people. Like, I appreciate that you don't believe in the Bible. That's fantastic. But we are here to talk to Christians who believe in the Bible, or Jewish people who believe in the Bible. So everyone keep tapping that screen, and maybe as soon as the Unapologetic show ends, we'll be getting some more guests who are Bible believers. Joseph B says, on May 13, 2020, I was 18 times in my house. I met Jesus. I saw parts of heaven. Joseph B, I think that your brain was starved of oxygen because you were near death, and brains which are starved of oxygen are prone to hallucination. So I don't think you really saw Jesus. I think that you had just a near-death experience, which are completely explainable as natural phenomenon. Kabir says, what do you believe? I'm an atheist. I believe in whatever can be in whatever can be demonstrated by means of like evidence, which would exclude the Bible. We have Ekman says, Satanists who don't believe in the Bible, how can you believe in Satan but not God? Generally, for the most part, most Satanists are atheists, and they only use Satan as a symbol, or like a mascot, if you will, for their religious political movement. Let's see. Joseph B says, I spoke with Jesus. He told me stuff that was going to happen 3 years later, and it did. Joseph, I don't believe you. And you'll never be able to convince me based off of your personal stories. P. Mars says, LOL atheism. P. Mars, I say, LOL P. Mars. Rebecca Castellano says, not true. What's not true? What do you think about Islam? I think Islam is just it's pretty shitty religion. Any religion which props up a pedophile as its head leader, not good in my book. Yeah, LOL precepts. Precepts do not like talking about the Bible for whatever reason. Imagine being an adult who believes in imaginary friends, P. Mars. Any advice for anyone struggling to find faith? My advice is don't find faith. Find reason. Faith is no good. Why do Bible study with someone who is better towards God? P. Mars is because atheists like us actually know the Bible better than you do. And you should be willing to like learn from any source as long as that source has actual data to back up what they believe. But of course, you live in a sort of bubble where the only people you listen to in the Bible are people who think just like you. But no, we atheists know the Bible better than Christians. That's why I'm called the Bible guy, because Christians, I probably know the Bible better than you. How many fail bros do you think we'll get today? I would love if we got a bunch of fail bros, because nothing makes me happier than forcing a fail bro to actually talk about the Bible. Terrence Harrow says atheists are lazy. Terrence, theists are lazy. When you don't have an explanation for a naturalistic phenomenon, you throw your hands up and go, well, I guess it was God. We actually do the work to figure out the origin of the phenomenon. Pablo says, shut up. No, you shut up, Pablo. The Bible guy. We can't be dead ass. I'm so dead ass. I am the Bible guy. No, y'all overthink. No, we don't overthink. Y'all underthink. Theists underthink it. That's the problem. So let's see. We got here, Ashlyn. What are you? What I invited you. Why are you not up here? All right, we got the power of Ori. All right, Ori. I'm going to ask you the same 3 questions I ask every single one of my guests, irrespective of who they are. Question number 1: are you at least 18?
Hi, Bible guy. Yeah, I'm 35 years old. I'm actually an atheist. I'm actually friends with you. I came up to visit with you and say hi, because it's been a while since I've seen you guys.
Oh, howdy. One second. Ashlyn, I sent you here. One second.
I'm 35 years old.
Trying to get my co-host up here for some reason. She's having trouble. I sent you a guest request, Ashlyn. Anyways, you're an atheist, and it's been a while since we've spoken. I'm sorry, I have a horrible memory, but it is good to hear from you.
Yeah, I haven't heard from you guys in a while. I've been wondering what you guys been doing.
Well, I took a 9-month.
I like to listen to you guys' show, but
yes, I took a 9-month hiatus, and now I'm back.
is that what happened? Because I was wondering what happened to you guys. I like listening to you guys. I mean, you guys, when you guys talk about the Bible and all that, I think it's kind of cool. Because at one point I used to be a Christian before I became an atheist. So,
well, Ori, I'm glad that
talk about in the Bibles.
I'm glad that you freed yourself from the fetters of dogma, but I do need to make room for any Christians who might want to come up. But thank you for catching up with us.
Oh yeah, well I'm studying cosmology and I'm going to school for it. In fact, we're studying the primeval atom as the source of how it may started the Big Bang occurrence for the Big Bang event. So, if you know what the primeval atom is, but
the primeval atom—that's what they used to call the singularity. Hey, you have a good day.
Yeah, yeah. Hi, you too. Thank you,
Ashland.
Yeah.
You know how in the past we've been having problems with my mic randomly cutting out?
Yeah.
Well, I figured out why that is, and now I feel silly.
Did you have the plastic still on it or something?
On the other side of my mic, you can see there's this green light right here. I thought it was just a light, but when it turns out when you touch the light,
That's your mute button.
I didn't realize the mic had a mute button, so now we know.
For someone so smart.
I'm the Bible guy. I'm not the tech guy. I just thought I'd just turn it back on and off. Yes, exactly, Nathan. He's the Bible guy, not the technology guy. Thank you. But at least now I know. And also now it means I'm able to mute my mic if I don't want anyone to hear me.
Yeah, there's a new rule in this live. You're not allowed to use any words associated with coffee for eternity.
Can I get 2 extra pumps? Pump.
I told you I'm gonna unalive someone.
We have here someone named Microscopic Heart says, all your beliefs come from something you read, and everything you read is included in the Bible. No. Oh, we got some pumpkin spice latte. Thank you, Heart, for this pumpkin spice latte.
No.
But
no, who did that? Who did that?
All your beliefs come from something you read. Well, I mean, generally, if I want to learn something new, I usually read it out of books. But those things that I do believe are things which have been verified. We have a new guest up on the line now, Gene. Gene, I'm going to ask you the same 3 questions I ask every single one of my guests, irrespective of who they are. Question number 1, are you at least 18?
Yes, sir.
Question number 2, are you a Bible believer?
Yes.
And question number 3, what are your pronouns?
Me, he.
He? All right. Gene, he, him. I'm Dalton, the Bible guy. I don't believe in the Bible. Why should I believe in the Bible? And before you answer that, Q in the comment section. I would rather die than convert to Islam. I do not like pedophiles, and I'm not going to join your religion. Anyways, Gene, why should I believe in the Bible?
I think I'll be up. I think the number one reason why is if we believe it, not necessarily for the religious purposes, but for it to be a science book.
Dude, no, that's not good. The Bible gets the science very, very, very wrong.
You think?
I know so.
You think we're light? You don't think we're human light beings?
Well, no, we're not light beings. We're not made out of photons.
So you don't think that we're actually human? We're not a light being at the lowest
I don't
realm?
know what I don't know what human is, but we are humans. Homo sapiens.
Human is a word. If you look up the word human, it's illuminate. Meaning you're a light. You're actually light.
Oh no, my dude, that's not okay.
No.
Here, let's look up the actual etymology of the word human. I guarantee you it has nothing to do with the word light. So the word human ultimately comes from Latin and has a deep linguistic history that ties into ideas of earthliness, mortality. From humanus, meaning human, doesn't have anything to do with the word for light. The word for light in Latin would be lux, and in Hebrew it would be or, and neither the Latin nor Hebrew, the word for man doesn't sound like and they ran away.
We got a runner. We got a track star.
Oh no, he fact checked me. Okay.
It's actually related to hummus.
Yeah.
Humans, hummus, the chickpeas.
Guys,
we are actually chickpeas.
I love hummus so much. You could say I'm a homosexual. We have Sophia Brand.
What are you doing with your hummus?
Don't ask. We have Sophia Brand. Sophia, I'm going to ask you the same 3 questions I ask every single one of my guests, irrespective of who they are. Question number 1, are you at least 18 years old?
Yeah.
Question number 2, are you...
Sorry, I didn't hear you. What?
Are you a Bible believer?
Yes, I am.
And then question number 3, what are your pronouns?
The she, her, I guess.
She, her, all right. Sophia, she, her, I'm Dalton, the Bible guy. I don't believe in the Bible. Why should I believe in the Bible?
I think you should believe in the Bible because, well, there's no way that humans could just be born like God is a thing. And the Bible is like, okay, I don't really know how to explain it, but
there is a way that humans are born is through a completely and utterly natural process that doesn't require God whatsoever.
Well, the Bible was made years ago, whenever God made it, and
No,
someone just
God-
can't make.
God didn't make the Bible. People made the Bible. The Bible
Did he
has
tell you that? Did you get told
no.
that?
No, that's just, I mean, the Bible itself presents itself as if it were written by humans. Like literally like 2/3 of the New Testament claim to have been directly claimed to have been written by a man named Paul. Now, the Bible has hundreds of different authors and many different editors and redactors. And around the 4th century CE, you get a man named Athanasius who compiles a bunch of different books that were at one point just separate books, and he forms what he calls like a Bible. But the Bible is a human invention, front to cover.
Yeah,
Okay.
the Bible doesn't make the claim that it's written by God.
Okay, so I do agree with you partially. So the Bible could be made up, but there's no way that God and Jesus could be made up, because how would we be alive then? Like, obviously,
Evolution and abiogenesis explain why humans are alive. Now, Jesus definitely probably existed, but he wasn't the Christ or the Son of God. He was just a failed apocalyptic rabbi.
okay. So obviously we have different beliefs, but obviously what I believe in is God and Jesus, and you believe in something different.
Why do you believe in Jesus?
I believe in Jesus because I did deal with a very hard time, and I did pray to God and Jesus to help my life become better, and it worked. So
What about all the people that pray to other gods and their lives get better?
sorry, what?
What about all the other people that pray to other gods and their lives get better? Like Muslims will pray to Allah and their lives get better. Hindus will pray to Krishna and their lives get better. Does that mean that their gods are also real?
I mean, we never know. You just have to believe in whatever. And
No. You should believe in things that you're able to demonstrate to be true through evidence.
well, that's exactly what I believe in is God, because I feel like there's evidence that I believe in.
What's the evidence? And evidence can't be like a personal testimony. Evidence for you also needs to be evidence for me.
Hey, Sophia, how old are you again?
I'm 19.
What year were you born?
I was born 2006,
What year? Month?
September 19th.
Yeah, you sound really young.
I'm sorry, that's just my voice.
I'll just believe them, I mean, as far as I can tell, you know. But, Sophia, what evidence do you have for God? And evidence cannot be something that's only evidence for you. It needs to be evidence for me, too. It needs to be something that I can verify to be true.
Okay, well, there's multiple people that have literally came back to life and being like, God gave me a choice to, like, I don't know, just die or go back to where God has given me a path to go through.
And what about all the people who have near-death experiences and they see other gods? Again, what's more
Or
likely,
nothing.
Sophia? Yeah, or nothing. So, Ashlyn had a near-death experience and she saw nothing. It's more likely, Sophia, that what's actually occurring is that when people are dying, their brains are being starved of oxygen, which releases a whole slew of chemicals into their brain and causing them to see and hear things that aren't real.
They've actually studied this. There were 2 studies, Aware 1 and Aware 2, in which the scientist actually wanted to demonstrate that there was something that happened after, and they could not. They were unsuccessful. The conclusions of that.
Yeah, I got someone in the comment section right now who says that they died and they saw the Norse god Odin.
Okay, well, for me, I feel like we just have different beliefs, and I'm just gonna get off because I don't want to ruin with yours, and I don't want to ruin with mine. This is just what I believe in.
All right, well, next time you want to call up to one of these live, Sophia, I suggest that you really take a moment to think about why you believe what you believe and see if you would accept that same argument from a person from another religion. And if you wouldn't
Okay.
accept it from them, you shouldn't accept it for yourself. You're
Okay,
better than
thank you.
this. All right. You have a good day, Sophia.
You too.
Very timid. All right. We got here New Life. New Life, I'm going to ask you the same 3 questions I ask every single person, irrespective of who they are. Question number 1, are you at least 18?
Yes.
I'm going to need you to get a little bit closer to the mic because you're very hard to hear right now.
I said yes. Sorry.
All right. Question number 2, are you a Bible believer?
Yes.
Are you driving right now?
Yes.
Sorry. Do not live and drive. Call back when you're not driving. Your health and life is more important than you getting to talk to me. All right. ICB. I'm going to ask you the same 3 questions I ask every single one of my guests, irrespective of who they are. Question number 1, are you at least 18?
Yes.
Question number 2, are you a Bible believer?
Somewhat.
All right, we'll dive into that in a second. And question number 3, what are your pronouns?
I'm a female.
Okay, that's your sex. What are your pronouns?
That's both.
No. Female only describes your sex. So what are your pronouns?
I'm a she.
There you go. She, her. ICB, she, her. I'm Dalton, the Bible guy. I do not believe in the Bible. ICB, why should I believe in the Bible?
Well, I believe halfway in the Bible as far as respect and niceness and things like that. I
Well-
don't believe in the Bible as far as when people do you wrong, you're supposed to just look the other way. And so my
Do you-
conflict is
Do you think Jesus was the Messiah?
no.
Okay,
I-
then it seems to me like you don't actually. Oh, thank you for the gold medal. It looks like you don't actually believe in the Bible, ICB. It looks like you just like some of the full ethics of the Bible. Some
I
of them
love
because
yes, absolutely. I love the ethics of the Bible, but I don't
Well,
believe that
I
Jesus
wouldn't say that you
Messiah.
love the. If I were you, I wouldn't say I love the ethics of the Bible because out of the entirety of the Bible, very little of its ethics are actually good because the Bible also condones slavery and treating women as if they are property.
I don't think they condone it. They represent it, saying that
No.
it actually was there.
No, they do condone it. Yahweh explicitly tells the Israelites that they are allowed to own slaves in Leviticus chapter 25.
Yeah, Yahweh makes the rules around rape as well. Basically, if you don't scream loud enough in a city,
Okay,
You're
so
allowed-
so the reason why I'm halfway in the Bible is because I was molested as a child, and my family fixed it, but they
I'm
told
sorry to
me
hear
not.
that.
My family fixed it. They
Yeah.
stopped it, but they did not call the police and said they did it within house and that they fixed it and that it's not going to happen anymore. So you don't get to tell anybody. And that's why I'm halfway in the Bible.
Sam, I mean, ICB, I'm so sorry to hear that you went through that, but I think that you can do better than the Bible because the Bible, if we were living according to what the Bible said, then then the one who victimized you would have been forced to marry you according to the Bible, which is not good ethics. I think you're able to do a lot better than the ethics of the Bible. I would suggest the ethics of secular humanism. It's got anything that's good in the Bible you'll find in secular humanism without all the bad supernatural nonsense in there.
And what is secular? Explain
Secular
that to me.
humanism.
Yes.
It places human beings as being like what's at the priority, and we center our ethics on like the well-being of humans.
Because my mother, when she found out, she went and grabbed a gun, went over to that house, and told
Hey,
that
ICB,
I see.
ICB, this is not a place, and I'm very sorry that this occurred to you, but on a live with 240 people, just
well,
you
he
don't know
was
how
not
people are
on
going to
a live.
react. You don't know what people have gone through. It's not a good place to talk about this.
Well, he
If you
was
would like
not
to
on a
talk about
live.
it, I will, you can DM me, we can have a conversation, but let's not do this in a live where there's a ton of
Oh,
people.
well, he was not on a live.
No, that's fine. That's
Yeah,
fine. I just don't think
but
that this is an appropriate place for
I
this.
think
I apologize.
at the end of the day, it doesn't look like you actually believe in the Bible, ICB. And as much as I appreciate you coming up, we are only interested in talking to people who actually believe in the content of the Bible. But you have a wonderful day.
And my DMs are open. You can add me, and we can talk if you need someone to talk with.
I'll remember that. We have
Oh, stop.
Terrence Huron. Terrence, I'm going to ask you the same 3 questions I ask every single one of my guests, irrespective of who they are. Question number 1, are you at least 18?
I am.
Question number 2, are you a Bible believer?
I do.
And then question number 3, what are your pronouns?
I don't use pronouns.
You just did.
I
it.
is a
You just-
pronoun.
Yes,
You
I is a
could've
pronoun.
said- That's so corny.
So what are your
Please.
third person pronouns?
I
Everyone
don't use
uses them.
pronouns.
Yes, you do. You
Yeah,
absolutely
but I
do.
don't though.
But you're lying to me right
Just
now.
because I
Terrence.
use
You know-
a pronoun
Terrence,
doesn't mean I identify.
Terrence, you know that
with the
lying is
pronoun.
a sin, right?
I do know that lying is a sin. Doesn't
So
mean that I
don't-
identify
so
with
don't lie to me.
pronoun.
But you do identify with a pronoun, like Terrence.
Yeah, that doesn't
Would
mean
you
I
disagree with someone saying about you, Terrence, she is like lying to the host and she doesn't understand what pronouns are? Would that be accurate if we were to use those words to describe you?
If you called me a she, then you would be misidentifying me.
Okay, so what do you identify as? You have a preference for what pronouns
I'm a
you prefer to
man.
go by.
I'm a
Okay,
man.
so
I'm
so
a
you
boy.
prefer to go by what?
Man.
If you're a
We-
boy, if you're a boy,
Terrence,
you can't be on this
Terrence, you're
live.
wasting
Oh, this is
Terrence,
hilarious. No,
Terrence,
you're wasting.
if you Terrence, I don't understand why y'all
Why do I need
this.
to define myself?
Yeah, because I'm the host and I asked you the
Why do I
question.
need-
If you can't honestly and correctly and answer
You're not
a
being honest,
simple
though.
question, I am.
You're not
You're the one
being
who does.
honest.
You're the one who doesn't understand how
Why do
pronouns
I
and
need to
grammar work.
identify as
Because I'm the host, Terrence, and I asked you a question. If you can't answer my question, then I don't want to talk to you. So I'll give you one last chance.
That's up to you.
And if
I mean,
I'll
that's
give you
up to
one
you.
last.
I wanted to have a genuine conversation with you.
No, you don't. You don't.
Yeah,
No, you didn't. You didn't want to have a genuine conversation because you're, as Deleted just said, you're weak-minded, and you don't understand how grammar works. And you're corny as hell, Terrence, for not knowing how grammar works. All right,
Nice hoodie.
thank you. This is the Data Over Dogma hoodie from Dan McClellan. Everyone, go to
The
Dan
fit
McClellan.
check
and
for
get some.
today.
Yeah, the fit for
Fit
today
check.
is the Data Over Dogma hoodie. We have 4X. 4X, I'm going to ask you the same 3 questions I ask every single one of my guests, and you have to answer these questions or you don't get to talk to me. So question number 1 is, how old are you?
I'm 18.
Question number 2, are you a Bible believer?
Yeah.
And question number 3, what are your pronouns?
He, him.
There you go. Terrence, look how easy that was. 4X got it. All right, 4X, he, him. I'm Dalton, the Bible guy. I don't believe in the Bible. Why should I?
Well, let me see. I would say, like, what part of the Bible do you, like, disagree with the most?
The majority of it.
Like, most of it? Like,
Yeah, like, for example, the Exodus never happened. Abraham isn't the forefather of the Jewish people. God didn't create the world in 6 days and rest on the 7th. And Jesus wasn't the Messiah.
why don't you believe that Jesus was the Messiah?
because he didn't fulfill a single messianic prophecy.
Not a single one?
Not a single one, bud.
Hmm.
Can you think of one that he did fulfill?
All right. Masonic. Okay.
Messianic. Messianic means relating to the topic of the Messiah. Prophecies in the Old Testament where the
Wait,
prophets were told
where
what
did you find like what he was supposed to do?
in the Hebrew Bible, the Old Testament. The Hebrew Bible has a lot of prophets, and they predict the future about what the future Messiah king would be like. And Jesus didn't fulfill a single one of those prophecies.
But what about everything that he did do? Do you believe that he did any of that?
No, I don't think Jesus performed any miracles because I don't believe in the supernatural, and I don't believe he resurrected from the dead. He probably argued with the religious leaders of his day, which is probably what got his ass hung up on that cross. But besides that, no, I don't think he was any of the things that the New Testament says about him.
What about the wisdom that he gives you?
He
Like,
wasn't
what do
very
you think about
wise.
that?
There wasn't so
Like,
anything that Jesus did say that was wise, not unique to Jesus. You can find it in other places. Most of the things that Jesus teaches are basically telling his followers to observe the law of Moses, which was something that Jewish people were already teaching at the time. Um, there's very little of Jesus's words which are actually all that wise and unique to him.
but do you remember when he said that like his wisdom it couldn't be messed with, like
But
everything
it
that he
could.
says is like
I
yeah.
have like some of the things that Jesus like I've read the stories where Jesus goes to the Pharisees and he makes arguments from the scripture with them, and his arguments are dog shit. Like I'm able to easily dismantle them.
Could you give me one?
Yeah, for example, this is a really good example. Jesus goes to the Pharisees, and this is in Matthew chapter 22, and he brings to them a passage from scripture where it says, the Lord said to my Lord, sit at my right hand until I make your enemies your footstool. Then he asked the Pharisees, if David calls him Lord, how can he be the son of David, like Solomon? And the Pharisees were just stunned, when in reality, David didn't write the psalm. It was written for David. If you go back and read the original Hebrew of Psalm 110, it explicitly says it's a psalm for and about David, not by him. So it's obviously that this text was written as a way to make Jesus look really good by having him engage in a fake debate.
Hmm. You know what I think though?
But
I really think that I really feel like that there was a Messiah. I
what was
feel
that?
like I feel like there was a Messiah. Well, there is.
I see
And
no evidence of there having ever been a Messiah.
yeah, I don't think you're going to unless it's within you.
Nah, I'm not. There's no Messiah within me because the Messiah is an individual who needs to, one, bring peace to the whole world, gather in all the Jewish people from the four corners of the world, rebuild the temple in Jerusalem, and reestablish the Levitical sacrifices and teach Torah to the nations. I haven't done that. You haven't done that. No one's done that. There is no Messiah. Are you watching Dragon Ball Z or something in the background? Could you turn that down?
No, that's Rick and Morty.
Oh, why does Rick sound like Goku for a
But
second?
no, but if you only go off of what you see, then I mean, like I'm saying, like you really never could know unless it's literally
Yeah, I need
within
you to
you.
turn Rick and Morty down for a second if you're going to have a conversation with me.
Oh, I got you.
Like, oh, Morty, I need you to turn down the TV, Morty.
What about dancing? Would you like to learn how to dance?
But yeah, I feel like no one can really truly find Jesus Christ within them unless they look within themselves. I feel like you
can't find Jesus within you because Jesus.
fathom.
You can't find Jesus
Oh
within yourself because Jesus is a corpse.
no, you're not getting it. That's what you're not getting. You're looking at you're trying to understand, like I want to say too logically when God is literally unfathomable. Like if you
when the
Hmm.
beginning of your argument involves the phrase, I think you're thinking too much about it. It tells me you're probably not thinking enough about it, dude.
No, I'm saying, cause like, I mean, I understand that because I've been there. Like, if you're not thinking logically, then how the fuck does this shit make sense? It's like,
So, do you have any good reason for me to actually believe in the Bible?
you'll have a good reason. I mean, the reason's supposed to be on you. I mean, that's for you to find. I mean, hey, a good reason for me is that like the Bible, like everything that Jesus talks about, like it helped my life.
So, in
All
other
right.
words, no, you don't have a reason for me to believe in the Bible. But hey, Forex, I got people waiting to talk to me who probably do.
Wait, what is your reason to find a reason for believing in the Bible if you don't believe in the Bible? Why don't you just don't believe in the Bible?
I don't believe in the Bible.
But why are you trying to search for like a
Because I
reason to
care
believe in it?
I care about what is true and what's not true, unlike a lot of Christians who just seem to care about what feels good to them. And I want
Yeah.
to educate people and to show them that they don't actually have a good reason for believing what they believe, because a lot of these beliefs result in people acting in such a way that is negative towards society. But
Yeah, because
you're not
they
able
weren't
to get
really raised like the correct way. They just, I mean, people were just
no,
born into the
if
church.
they were raised in Christianity, they were not raised the correct way.
They weren't. I'm saying, because I was
No,
born
because
in the
people who
church.
get raised in the church end up believing all kinds of stupid shit, like that it's
That's
wrong
what I'm
to
saying.
like people
Yeah.
who think it's wrong to engage in same-sex relationships, or it's wrong for people to identify as a gender that's the opposite of their sex, or that abortions are somehow evil or whatever. People believe in all kinds of stupid shit because they just grew up Christian and they didn't stop to think about why they believe what they believe. But
Yeah.
it looks
They
like
didn't have a real relationship with Jesus.
no one has an actual relation. You can't have a relationship with dead people. But listen, we're gonna move on because it doesn't look like you're able to give me anything substantive
Dude,
for this conversation.
dude, bro.
Before X, you have a good day.
None of that stuff that y'all like that.
Yeah, that was lame. Sherry,
Did you look at your Discord, Dalton?
Let's take a look. Oh God. She sent me a giant Jesus dildo picture. All right.
It's the Jesus inside us all.
Anyways, Terrence, you're boring. Terrence was saying that the last guest was boring. You're boring. You couldn't even get past question number 3. Sherry B, I'm going to ask you the same 3 questions I ask every single one of my guests, irrespective of who they are. Question number 1, are you at least 18?
Yes, I am.
Question number 2, are you a Bible believer?
Yes, I am.
Question number 3, what are your pronouns?
She, her, even though I don't really go by pronouns, but I go by she, her, if you want to ask.
Yeah, but you do. So Sherry, she, her.
I'm a woman.
I'm
so
Dalton, the Bible guy. I don't believe in the Bible. Sherry, why should I believe in the Bible?
Why? Well, because of what you were talking about before, that you seem to think Jesus did not fulfill any of the messianic prophecies when he
Oh
did.
yeah, not a single one. But hey, if you want to talk about some, I would love to talk about those with you. So, give me your best one. Just start with your best one.
Okay, how about not a single bone would be broken?
That's not a prophecy.
Okay.
That's a line from
How
Exodus.
about-
That's a line from Exodus chapter 12, where God tells the Israelites that when they prepare the Passover lamb, they're not supposed to break any of its bones. But that's just a commandment on how to prepare a Passover meal. That's not a prophecy or a prediction of the future.
Okay, how about this? The Messiah was to enter Jerusalem on a donkey.
Did you read the rest of that passage?
How many donkeys?
A donkey.
So not two
That's weird.
donkeys like Jesus.
Not two donkeys? Not a donkey and a colt?
How can one person ride two donkeys?
That is an excellent question.
That's a question you need to ask the author of the Gospel of Matthew, because Matthew tries to get Jesus to ride on two donkeys because he misread the book of the prophet Zechariah. But here's the problem, Sherry. When we read the prophecy from Zechariah about the Messiah riding on a donkey, it doesn't tell us that he just rides in on a donkey. It says, "Rejoice greatly, O daughter Zion. Shout aloud, O daughter of Jerusalem. Lo, your king comes to you. Triumphant and victorious is he." First and foremost, Jesus was never a king. "Humble and riding on an ass, on a colt, the foal of an ass. He will cut off the chariot from Ephraim, and the war horse from Jerusalem, and the battle bow shall be cut off, and he shall command peace to the nations. His dominion shall be from sea to sea, and from the river to the ends of the earth." That never happened when Jesus rode
I
into
would
Jerusalem.
say it did. If you believe that, I would say that did, because Jesus is the King of Kings, Lord of Lords forever till the end. He was.
No, did he cut off the war horse from the chariot from Ephraim and the war horse from Jerusalem?
I think that's spiritual language, because whenever Jesus spoke, it was spirit. You have to understand spiritual things to understand that's speaking of spirit.
What you're basically telling me, Sherry, is that no, Jesus didn't actually literally fulfill the prophecy. He only fulfills the prophecy is if words don't actually mean what they mean. If we say that there's a secret layer, then you can make the claim that anyone was the Messiah. You can just claim that they spiritually fulfilled the prophecy.
Well, no, because all of the prophecies that Jesus fulfilled were so many that not one. No, it would be the odds of one person fulfilling the odds of one person fulfilling every one of those things. It's impossible, almost, even just a few of them.
Just so we're clear, Jesus didn't fulfill a single prophecy. He only fulfills prophecies if one, you don't pay attention to what the words actually mean and say, and two, if you make passages that aren't even prophecies into prophecies and then spiritualize them to talk about Jesus. That's the only way you can get Jesus to fulfill prophecy. But if you actually care what the Bible actually says and you read the text for what it plainly says, then Jesus didn't actually fulfill anything.
Okay, I have one that I don't know how you're going to get away with this one, but how about Isaiah 7:14?
Isaiah 7:14.
Isaiah 7:14, yeah. "Therefore, the Lord himself will give you a sign. The virgin will be with child and will give birth to a son, and we will call him Emmanuel."
Easy.
Which means God with us.
Easy. In the original Hebrew, it doesn't say anything about a virgin giving birth. In the original Hebrew of Isaiah 7:14, it says, "Laken." Therefore, Yiten Adonai hu lakem ot. The Lord himself shall give to you a sign. Hine, behold, ha'alma hira. The young woman is pregnant. Present tense, is pregnant. Ve'yoledet ben, and she will give birth to a son. Ve'kirat shemo Emmanuel, and she will call his name Emmanuel. In the original Hebrew of the passage, it doesn't say anything about a virgin who will conceive in the future. It talks about a young woman who is pregnant, as in when Isaiah gave this word of prophecy, the woman was already existing and she was already pregnant and she was going to soon give birth.
Okay, here, that's interesting, because actually I just had this discussion with my brother probably 2 weeks ago, because I brought up to him how someone like you said that the original Hebrew calls it a young woman and not a virgin. But my brother studied Hebrew and Latin and is a theologian, and he said, in some of the texts, the actual Hebrew does say young woman, but when it comes to the virgin talking about the virgin birth of the Messiah, it was actually meant virgin. The Hebrew word was virgin in those passages.
No, so in the Hebrew word for virgin is Betula. Betula doesn't occur in any version of the Hebrew book of Isaiah. Now, in the Greek translations of the Hebrew Bible, they use the Greek word parthenos, which can either mean a young woman or a virgin. However,
Right.
again, the context, who cares about what a translation says? The original Hebrew clearly says it's a young woman and not a virgin. Plus, again, at the time when this book was translated into Greek, Parthenos also just meant a young woman. For example, in Genesis chapter 34, the young woman named Dinah in the Greek translation of Genesis is called a Parthenos after she has been raped. So clearly, Parthenos doesn't always mean virgin.
Sherry, is your argument, my brother said different?
My argument was my brother gave me the actual Hebrew words and told me I didn't write them down. I wish I could remember the conversation, but he has studied Greek and Hebrew, and because I had the same question because somebody else said exactly what I don't know what your
there's not a single Hebrew manuscript of the book of Isaiah that says virgin. Even in the Dead Sea Scrolls, which literally I was just looking at them today, in the Dead Sea Scrolls, it says the exact same thing I have here before me. It says the young woman is pregnant and shall have a son. The child, Emmanuel,
we were just looking at those.
The child, Emmanuel, is actually just one of Isaiah's kids. Isaiah had 3 kids. Their names were Shear-Jashub, Emmanuel, and Maher-Shalal-Hashbaz, all of which, each of them had a Hebrew name which was symbolic. And Isaiah says that all of his kids were signs and portents to the children of Israel.
Can I ask you a question? Are you Jewish by any chance?
No, I used to practice Judaism though, as a non-Jew.
Okay. I just asked because I've had conversations with some Jews who converted to Christianity, and I'll tell you why they did. Because when they heard Isaiah chapter 53, and I know you know the chapter I'm talking about, when they heard that, they knew that it was talking about the Messiah without even being told.
Yeah, if you read Isaiah 53 out of context without having read any previous chapters in Isaiah, and you're already aware of the Jesus story from your culture, which if they're Americans, then they're obviously familiar with the Jesus idea. Most people in the world are. Then sure, you can make it sound as if it's about Jesus. But if you read the book of Isaiah in its whole context, so starting in Isaiah chapter 40 onwards, you're going to be told explicitly time and time again throughout the book of Isaiah that the servant is Israel. It explicitly says so.
But even the Jews, okay, even the Jews believed that a Messiah was coming.
Sure.
So it was the Jews or the Hebrew people who looked at these specific prophecies in the Old Testament to look for the Messiah.
Sure, but Jesus, again, didn't fulfill any of those prophecies because Isaiah 53 isn't about Jesus, and it's not even about the Messiah. It's about the suffering of the Jewish people when they were in the exile of Babylon and how God was soon going to exalt them before the eyes of the nations.
How about that he was going to be born in Bethlehem?
Micah 5:2 doesn't say anything about a Messiah being born in Bethlehem. It describes a king who rules and reigns within Israel, and that his going forth is from Bethlehem and from Ephrathah, from ancient days, meaning that his origin is in Bethlehem, because the Messiah is supposed to be a descendant of King David, and David was from Bethlehem. But the text never actually says that the Messiah will be born in Bethlehem.
But he was from Bethlehem.
We actually don't have any good reason to think that Jesus was from Bethlehem. Jesus was probably born and raised in Nazareth.
Well, the New Testament, the Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, maybe not all of the Gospels, at least 2 of them say that he was born in Bethlehem.
You mean the ones that can't get their story straight about Jesus? Those Gospels that say Jesus was born 10 years prior to Jesus being born. It's very
If you
odd.
read if you read the book written by a former atheist,
Lee Strobel.
he wrote that Lee
Why can't I just
Strobel, yes.
read the documents themselves,
Yes.
right? Why can't I just look at the
But
text?
listen, this is what Lee
Sherry.
Strobel said. We
Sherry.
found out
Sherry,
that
I've already.
if they
Sherry,
all said
I've
exactly the same thing.
No, they didn't. So, Sherry, I've already read The Case for Christ by Lee Strobel. I did when I was an atheist. Horrible book. Now, secondly, as Ashley has pointed out to you, when you actually look at the history surrounding Matthew chapter 2 and Luke chapter 2, they utterly and completely disagree with each other in regards to the events in Jesus' life. Like, Sherry, was Jesus born during the reign of King Herod the Great or during the census of Quirinius?
Oh, I'm not a historian buff, so
Well, I'll tell
I
you
know
this.
he was
You
born
read
during
the
that. I know
text.
he
It's in the
was born.
Gospels.
He was
It's in
born
the
during
Gospels.
he was born during Herod
Yeehaw.
because Herod wanted babies.
Well,
So
that's
Sherry,
Josh.
have you read the Gospels?
I've read the Bible back and forth at least 100 times for the last 30 years.
Well, I would get flashcards.
Yeah. So Matthew is the one that makes
I
the
could
claim.
tell you what
Sherry,
what
Matthew is the one that makes the claim that Jesus was born during the reign of King Herod the Great. Now, historically speaking, King Herod the Great ruled from 40 BCE to 4 BCE. He died in 4 BCE. Now, Luke tells us that he was born during the census of Quirinius, which was 10 years after Herod was already dead.
Well, I can't speak to that. I really can't speak to that because I don't know. I'd have to look into that. But what I was trying to say is if all of the gospel writers said exactly the same thing, it would mean that they conspired, but no, they each wrote
Well, no, they don't
separately.
have to
So
say the exact same thing, but they do have to agree on, like, for example, when Jesus was born. Like, if they want to just say that, if they want to say Jesus was born during the reign of King Herod the Great, but use different words, that's fine. But when they're just telling completely and utterly different stories, Luke tells us that Jesus was from Nazareth originally, and the only reason they go to Bethlehem is because of the census. They stay there for
right.
8 days, and then Jesus is
That's
circumcised, and they
right.
go to Jerusalem for the ceremonies that they need to perform. And after Jerusalem, they go back home to Nazareth. None of that doesn't correlate at all with Matthew. Matthew tells us that he was from Bethlehem originally, that they went to Egypt, and then to Nazareth where they resettled. Those aren't just like minor differences. That's a
Right. I
completely
mean,
different story.
I mean, it doesn't mean though that they're contradicting because
They
they
are.
could have done both.
No,
He
they
could have
couldn't have
been
done
born
both
in.
because according to Luke, Jesus went from Bethlehem to Jerusalem, and then from Jerusalem to Nazareth. No Egypt.
Well, I think they fled to Egypt when the babies were being killed. That they fled there for a very short
And
time.
when was that? Was that on the way? Because in the story of Matthew, they're still in Bethlehem when they have to flee to Egypt to escape from King Herod. But Luke tells us they went from Bethlehem to Jerusalem, and from Jerusalem to Nazareth.
I'd have to do some research. I don't know. I've never researched that because I know that not all the gospel same facts, but you could intertwine them. Jesus could have done.
You can't intertwine them. When does where in the Gospel of Luke would you place Jesus' flight to Egypt?
Well, I'd have to look at Luke right now, and I don't. And it would
Because
be in the.
remember, the Gospel of Luke tells us that this all took place during the time when the census under Quirinius took place, which was 10 years after Herod was already dead. Yeehaw!
Well, Luke literally only gives like one chapter to the birth of.
So
I mean,
so does Matthew. But
it
again, you're
doesn't
missing the
mean
point.
it doesn't mean
Sherry.
Jesus. It doesn't mean they couldn't have done all
Sherry.
of those things.
No, it's impossible unless you want to make the claim that Jesus was born and then he crawled back up into his mother's vagina and was born 10 years later, it's impossible for the events to have taken place at the same time. Sherry, what does Luke chapter 2, verse 1 tell us about the timing of Jesus' birth?
Let's see. Luke 2 1. I have it right here. Okay. In those days, Caesar Augustus issued a decree that a census would be taken of the entire Roman world. This was the
In verse
first
2?
census. This was the first census that took place while Quirinius was governor of Syria.
Yeah,
And
Quirinius was
everyone
governor
went
of
to his
Syria.
home. And everyone went to his hometown to register. So
Yeah,
you see
here's the
that.
problem, Sherry. The census of Quirinius took place 10 years after Herod was already dead.
Okay. I guess I don't know. That's a fact, but it could be.
Yeah, we have a historian from the first century CE by the name of Josephus who gives us the chronological list of events that took place. By the way, Laser28 in the comment section. I don't know why you keep trying to talk to me. I'm not going to talk to you in the comment section. Get in the box and come up if you want to talk about Isaiah 53. Anyways, Sherry, Herod dies, and then his kingdom is divided amongst his three sons, Philip, Antipas, and Archelaus. And Archelaus ruled from Jerusalem for about 10 years, but he was so bad at his job that the Romans fired him from being the ethnarch of Judea and exiled him to Vienna. And only then was the region of Judea handed over to the Romans, annexed to Rome, and Quirinius was made the governor of Syria, and he did the census. That was 10 years after the events that Matthew says it took place in.
Okay, 10 years. I mean, that's way before us, so there could be some leeway, don't you think? I mean,
No,
10
because
years.
Luke tells us that he was born 10 years after Matthew says he was born. That's you. That would be like, Sherry, that would be like if two people wrote two biographies about me, and in one biography they said I was born in 1996 under Bill Clinton, and another author says I was born in 2006 under Bush.
I have to admit, you seem to know your history. Here's the thing. I just want to say this about the prophetic scriptures in the Old Testament. You know, a lot of times prophecy comes with real events too. Like, but the Jews knew which ones were the prophetic words pointing to the Messiah.
Yeah, and Christians don't seem to know which ones are actually about the Messiah, which ones and which ones
It's
aren't.
almost like the Jews know, so they're not Christian.
There's a lot of
Yeah,
Jews who are Christians.
the only Jews who become Christians are the ones that aren't educated in the Hebrew Bible.
I know one who's very
I
educated in the Hebrew Bible.
I would love to talk to them because I sincerely doubt it. No
Yeah.
one
I
can
don't know
actually
if I'm
read
gonna
the.
use Sherry's opinion of knowledgeable in the Bible in this case. She doesn't seem
Well, I
to
know the
be very
Bible very
knowledgeable
well.
herself. No
I
offense.
may not know history, but I do know the Bible very well, very
Here,
well. I've studied it
Sherry,
for many years.
if is the suffering of the servant in Isaiah 53, does the author use past tense or future tense language when describing the suffering? Does it say that he was despised and rejected, or that he will be despised and rejected? Because if it
It
says he will
says
be,
he was, but
well,
that's
what
you have to understand prophecy.
I do. When you speak prophecies, you speak about things that will happen in the future. You say, and this shall occur, and that shall occur. You don't say that things have already occurred. That's not how prophecy works.
Well, the Isaiah 53 is one of the most. It is one of the messianic prophecy.
It's not messianic. It's about Israel. There are parts of Isaiah 53 which are future tense, and that's going to be the parts where it talks about the exaltation of the servant. For example, we see Isaiah 52 verse 13, which is the beginning of the suffering servant song, and it says, "Behold, my servant shall prosper, and he shall be exalted and lifted up and shall be very high. That's future tense language, because from the perspective of the author of this text, the exaltation of the servant is yet to come. But when we talk about the suffering that the servant has undergone, what does he say? He was despised and rejected by men. That tells me that from the perspective of the author, the despisement and rejection of the servant has already happened. So whoever he's talking about, it's someone who, from their perspective, was already despised, but would soon be exalted. That can't be Jesus, because Jesus didn't live at this time.
But who else would that be about then?
Israel. Isaiah explicitly tells us, time and time again, explicitly, that the servant is in reference to Israel. In fact, there's like at least 6 times. Isaiah 41, 8-9, Isaiah 44, verses...
a servant be the nation of Israel. It's talking
because within prophetic literature, the Israel are often spoken of as being a singular individual. For example, if you read Exodus chapter 4, what does God say to Moses about what he should say to Pharaoh? He says to Pharaoh, Exodus chapter 4, verse, 21, and the Lord said to Moses, when you go back to Egypt, see that you do before Pharaoh all the miracles which I have put in your power, but I will harden his heart so that he will not let the people go. And you shall say to Pharaoh, thus saith the Lord, Israel is my firstborn son, and I say to you, let my son go that he may serve me. If you refuse to let him go, behold, I will slay your firstborn son. Hosea, which was a contemporary of Isaiah, often actually speaks about Israel as a singular individual. It says in Hosea 11, verse 1, talking about the exodus from Egypt, when Israel was a child, I loved him, and out of Egypt I called my son.
Okay, I see what you're saying. So that's how prophecy works. Okay, granted, it is talking about Israel, but it's also talking about the coming Messiah. That's just how prophecy works.
It can't be, Sherry.
There's several
Sherry,
layers to prophecy.
No, there aren't layers to it, Sherry. The only reason you have to say that there are layers is because you're desperate to make Jesus the Messiah. And if you actually take the Bible for what it plainly says and don't read things, because here on this channel, we don't read things into the text that aren't there. We only go about what the text actually says.
The thing that you're not looking at, okay, is the spiritual aspect, because you're looking.
There is no such thing as a spiritual.
And
Sherry,
you're looking completely theologically.
Sherry,
but you're
that
not
assumes
looking at the
that there is a spiritual aspect, and I don't believe in spiritual aspects. You would have to prove that there is a spiritual aspect to the Bible, and the only way you're able to do that is by going, well, the New Testament says it, therefore it's true.
Jesus.
Sherry, I know that Harry Potter is real because there's a spiritual aspect on it. Prove me wrong.
I've never read Harry Potter.
I know that it exists because there's a spiritual aspect on it.
Do you know who Menachem?
Okay,
Sherry,
right.
do you know who?
It's a cult, maybe a cult.
Do you know who?
Or
Well,
I have
Christianity
no
was
idea.
also a cult when it first started. Sherry, do you know who Menachem Mendel Schneerson was?
I do not, but it sounds like it could be a Jewish name.
He was a rabbi in the 20th century. He was the leader of Chabad Lubavitch, which is a very prominent sect of Orthodox Jews. And many people thought that he might be the Messiah. And still to this day, there are certain members of his sect who think he is the Messiah, even though he didn't fulfill any prophecies. And you know how they make it work? They make claims that he spiritually fulfilled the prophecies. So even though Menachem Mendel Schneerson didn't actually build a physical temple in Israel, like the prophecies say, they make the claim that, oh, well, when he established his synagogue in East Parkway, that was the spiritual fulfillment of the prophecy, because the prophecy has a double meaning to it. So see, when you make the claim that there are spiritual fulfillments of prophecies, you can make anyone the Messiah. You can make me the Messiah if you're going to make the claim that there's a spiritual fulfillment.
It was Jesus himself who said, "The words I speak to you are spirit," and he
Yeah,
looks for worshipers who
that's that
worship
sounds
him
like
in
Jesus is
spirit.
coping with the fact that he couldn't actually fulfill prophecy, so he had to come up with
Well,
some
okay, then how
excuse.
do you explain this? And this was in, okay, you probably know where I'm getting this from. That 12 men were so convinced that Jesus died and rose that they died martyrs'
That's
deaths
not true.
because they would not.
So
Yes.
out of the 12 apostles, the only ones that we are actually able to confirm that they ever died for being Christian are Peter, and that's it. Now Paul, we can
John.
Paul. Well, no, we don't have
Well,
any.
John was
We don't have all the information
John
that you
was
have.
boiled in oil. He was boiled in
No,
oil,
he was.
and
No,
he
he wasn't.
lived through it.
No, these are traditions that occur that were given to us hundreds of years after the life of the apostles. We don't have any like first century or primary sources that actually tell us that these stories about how the apostles supposedly died is
Okay,
true.
so Peter
This is
was
later tradition.
crucified upside down.
No, we don't know. That's obviously not true. Like, have you? If for anyone who hasn't heard the story, Peter is about to be crucified, so he asks the Romans to crucify him upside down because he's not worthy to die like his Lord.
Right.
Do you think that the Romans, who could not give less of a shit about what they consider to be these Jewish dogs, that do you think that they would care about the preference of how a crucifixion victim wanted to be crucified? Does that make any sense to you?
No, but with God, all things are possible. I mean,
That's just that's a thought
that could
stopping
have.
phrase,
I mean, they could have
Sherry.
allowed that. They may not have
No,
given a shit, but they may
it's
have.
very unlikely. It's very unlikely. It's obviously reeks
Well,
of a
Peter
later
did die
legendary story.
because he would not renounce his faith. That is,
We don't
you
know that.
know,
We don't know that. We don't know that Peter was given the opportunity to renounce his faith. We don't know this. All we
okay.
know is that he
If
died,
we,
and we have no information on his death. All we know is that he
okay,
did
if we
die, and that's
don't,
it.
um, Paul went through all kinds of persecutions for his faith. And why would he do that?
Allegedly.
Because he saw the risen Christ.
No, Paul had a vision where he saw Jesus. In other words, like he was seeing something that simply wasn't real. Like people have visions all the time. It's simply something that's
But,
occurring right here in the mind.
well, it changed his whole life.
Yeah,
I
visions can
mean,
do that.
for the rest of his life, he preached the gospel. I
Yeah, I
mean,
mean that just tells me that he was convinced of his vision, but doesn't tell me that his vision, like, was a vision of a real thing as opposed to a psychological phenomenon.
okay. Well, I know you have an answer to everything I say, so I guess I'll end with this though. You take 12 disciples who started to preach the gospel, and it has lasted 2,000 years, and now there
Yeah,
are
that's
millions of
just because of
Christians
the
all over the world.
that's only because of the Roman Empire. Like once like the Roman Emperor Constantine converted to Christianity, then of course it would be on its way to becoming the most popular religion in the world. Prior to
They
his
also, I'm sorry.
prior to his conversion, it wasn't a popular religion. And you were gonna say, Ashland?
Yeah, so that's what happens when you go and grape and murder. I don't know why I said grape if I'm going to say murder. People and to force them into conversion for thousands of years. I mean, that's going to happen. Like naturally the Latin America and the was not going to be Christian until the Spanish, and then the Crusades. You know, like the longest war in history, the 700 Years' War. You know, all those
Yeah,
have.
that was the Catholic Church.
Yeah, that's how Christianity became popular, Sherry, is because the Catholic Church is the oldest form of Christianity that exists today.
Well, I beg to differ with that. That's what the
I
Catholic
mean,
Church
you're a
does. But if you,
Protestantism doesn't exist 500 years ago. There were no
no, but if
Protestants
you
prior to
read,
500 years
okay,
ago.
if I go by the scriptures, if I go by the book of Acts, the first church was held in home from house to house,
Yeah,
and there was no
because it was
Catholic Church.
illegal.
but there was
I'm
no
I'm not
Catholic
making the
Church.
claim, by the way, Sherry, that the Church of Jesus' time was the Catholic Church. I'm just saying the Catholic Church is the oldest form of Christianity that exists today.
Well,
The
I
original
think the
church from the
oldest.
Book of Acts doesn't exist anymore.
I think it does. I think it does. I think there's true believers, just like there were back
There are
then. I
plenty of people
mean,
who truly do believe, but the idea that they believe the same thing the first church did, no, they definitely didn't. Like, for example,
I
you
do. I
probably
mean,
don't.
I believe all the words of the scriptures, the New Testament,
So,
the
do
Old
you
Testament.
observe? Really? So, do you observe everything that the Pharisees instruct you to do? Because that's what Jesus commanded.
No, Jesus did not. That Jesus brought the new covenant, which it didn't
Fact
do
check
away with
time.
the old. Jesus fulfilled the old covenant.
I'm going to read to you from the book of the prophet, the book of the evangelist Matthew. Then Jesus said to the crowd, this is Matthew 23, verses 1 through 3. Then Jesus said to the crowds and to his disciples, the scribes and the Pharisees sit on Moses' seat. So practice and observe whatever they tell you, but do not do what they do, for they preach, but they do not practice. So Jesus commanded his followers to do whatever the scribes and Pharisees commanded them to do. Do you do those things?
Get the stones ready, Sherry.
What he was saying was obey the commandments.
Yeah,
Which
which would mean keeping the Sabbath day on Saturday, keeping kosher, not mixing your fabrics together. These are some of the things that the Pharisees would
that
have
was
said.
okay. That was for the Jewish believers, but when
No,
the
because Jesus
Gentile
says,
believers came in, okay, because they had
what
to
did
keep
what did
that.
Jesus say after he resurrected from the dead in the Great Commission?
Go and make disciples of all men.
And what does he say right after that? Go therefore, make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, teaching them to observe all that I have commanded you, which would include
Right.
his words to the disciples in Matthew 23 to do whatever the Pharisees say. Christians don't
But
actually do what.
but the Pharisees didn't have. They lacked faith. They lacked
Doesn't
faith
matter.
in Jesus.
Doesn't matter. Jesus told you to obey what they said. You actually
No,
don't listen to what
Jesus
you
said
don't
to
actually
obey.
listen to what Jesus said. You actually are a follower not of Jesus, but of the Apostle Paul.
No, because Jesus wanted us to, and the Pharisees and everybody to worship God first.
They did
God
worship
needs to be
the
first.
Pharisees did worship God, and Jesus
So,
explicitly told you to do what they tell you to do, and you're not doing that. You're doing what Paul said
he
and
said our
believing that you're under
righteousness.
grace and under the law.
Jesus said we needed to exceed the righteousness of the Pharisees because they were not
Yeah, which
righteous.
you
They were
breaking the law of
whitewashed
Moses,
tombs.
and you breaking the law of Moses does not make you more righteous than the Pharisees. It makes you worse than them.
If you read what they were, the apostles were commanded to tell the Gentile believers, which would be me, because
We just read what the apostles were told by Jesus.
But
Jesus told the apostles to tell them to observe all that I have commanded you, which includes what we just read in Matthew 23.
Jesus said the first two commandments, everything hangs on the first two commandments.
Yeah,
Love the
that
Lord
doesn't.
your God
Yeah, that doesn't
and
give you
love
permission
others
to
as
break
you
the
love
rest of.
yourself.
That doesn't give you permission to
Because
break the
if
rest of them,
you
Sherry.
act in love,
Sherry. That doesn't give you permission to break the rest of them. You already know. Do you know that this teaching that you're just teaching us right now was already taught by the Pharisees before the time of Jesus? The idea that love God and love your neighbor, that the entirety of the Torah hangs on this.
Yes, I do,
Was,
because
and,
we're still
and that
to keep that.
Okay, well
You
then,
know, and
guess
if
what?
you love,
The teaching that these commandments are the greatest of the commandments and that the entirety of the Torah hangs on them, that doesn't mean all you have to do is love God and love your neighbor and therefore you're fulfilling the law. No, it means that these are the greatest things and that all the other commandments derive from them. But if you're not observing the law of Moses, then you're not loving God, according to Jesus.
if you're loving God and loving others, you're not going to. And and according to the New Testament, if you're filled with the Spirit, you're not going to fulfill the things of the flesh. You're going to walk in the Spirit.
Then why
And
do
by
you not
walking
observe
in
the
the
law? Then why
Spirit,
don't you observe the law of Moses like Jesus told you to?
well, I do because the Holy Spirit gives
Do you eat
me
pork?
direction.
Do you eat pork?
Actually, I don't, but I
Do you
know
wear mixed
because
fabrics?
you know what? When Jesus said to Peter, did you know the story where the sheep
I
was
know,
The,
I
the
know,
taken?
I know,
answer, the
I
answer, Dalton, to do you wear mixed fabrics? Actually, it makes sense that it would be Peter.
No,
That's a
but
complete answer to that question.
Jesus told Peter what he made clean is clean because when
yeah,
the
Jesus never actually
Gentile
said that.
believers came
The
in,
book,
the
yeah,
Gentile believers did not.
Sherry. I
The
don't care what the book.
Gentile believers did not
Sherry.
know the law,
I don't care about what kind of hallucination Peter was experiencing in the book of Acts.
but
It
you know
completely
what? The
contradicts.
Gentile
It completely
believers did not know the law.
I don't care about Peter's hallucination in the book of Acts. He's contradicting what Jesus explicitly tells you in the Gospels. And here's the problem. You're making the claim that Acts says you don't have to keep the law. Well, guess what? Acts contradicts the Gospels then. And if I was a Christian and I had to choose between the book of Acts, which is a forgery, by the way, and the words of Jesus, I would choose the words of Jesus. But Christians don't think like that. They want to go with whatever's easiest for them, which means don't circumcise your kids. You can eat pork. You can work on Saturday, because Christians don't care about what Jesus said. They only care about what the apostles taught. But with that, I think we're going to move on. Sherry, you have a wonderful day. Yeah. And Doug, bless you. All right. We have Ryan Christian Owens. Ryan, I'm going to ask you the same 3 questions that I ask every single one of my guests, irrespective of who they are. Is Ryan going to come up? Except they were a ghost.
While we're waiting, guys, make sure you are tapping that screen, reposting the live, sharing it out. If you can, send a heart me. Doing all the things to help and support the live, it would be much appreciated. We appreciate y'all being here, and we hope you're having a good time.
Where the heck?
And make sure to keep your arms and legs inside the cabin at all times.
Laser 28 was in my guest request box, but now they're not there. What the heck, Laser 28?
Did Laser run?
They've been running their mouths in the comment section this whole time. I thought they wanted to come up and talk to me and defend their belief that Isaiah 53 is referring to only one in one person. Because guess what, Laser 28? I speak Hebrew, and I can guarantee you there's something there in Isaiah 53 in the Hebrew that you're not expecting.
Dalton, I sent you a prophecy.
Where?
Your Discord.
I prophesy. Oh, yeah, well, that's probably going to come true. Yeah. Here, actually, I think it will come true with the next caller. Watch. Hey, Terrence, I'm going to ask you the third question one more time, and if you don't answer...
I'm so proud of you.
So I'm going to ask you the third question one more time, and let's see if you're actually able to answer it like a good boy.
On answering that, but let's get to the meat of it. I've been calling you a while.
You don't get to talk to me unless you get to answer the question. So you can either whine and crash out like a little bitch boy, or you can actually answer my
have
question.
A real conversation with me?
Look at that, Ashlyn. You've fulfilled prophecy in real time.
Yes,
so Terrence,
I'm a prophet. I am a prophet, guys.
Terrence crashed out like a little bitch boy, and he doesn't want to answer a simple question. I don't know what his problem is. I don't know why he thinks that he gets to dictate the conversation. No, Terrence, you're not coming up.
So at 3:38 p.m. EST, I said, I prophesize you will argue with a Christian until they crash out.
Yeah, well, he crashed out real quick because Laser doesn't know how words work. All right, except I got Laser 28. Laser 28, I'm going to ask you the same 3 questions I ask every single one of my guests, irrespective of who they are. And you have to answer these questions before we can move forward with the conversation. Question number
What
1,
all things?
are you at least 18 years old?
Yes.
Question number 2, are you a Bible believer?
Yes.
And question number 3, what are your pronouns?
Him. God made 2 genders. This doesn't really matter.
No, he didn't make 2 genders, but he, him. All right, Laser 28,
Yes,
he,
he did.
him.
Okay,
I'm
what's
Dalton
the third
I'm
gender
Dalton
then?
the Bible guy.
What's the third gender?
I'm Dalton the Bible guy, and I don't believe in the Bible. Laser 28, why should I believe in the Bible? This is not a good start to your conversation. So, Laser 28, why should I believe in the Bible? Unmute yourself. Do you know how to unmute yourself? There, I sent you an invite to unmute yourself. Rough start to the conversation. I mean, it's crazy when they don't know the difference between sex and gender, but, you know, what are you going to do? Laser, you see the little microphone button at the bottom of your screen? Click the microphone button, and you will be able to unmute yourself.
Breathe. When you get that angry, you can't think straight. So just, okay? Chill out.
There, I sent you an invite again to unmute yourself, Laser, if you cannot figure out the unmute button. Here, I'll drop you, and then I'll bring you back up. Okay, but you gotta... Let's see, how do I invite them back up? Let's see. Oh. One second. And accept. All right. Now, Laser 28. Why should I believe that the Bible is true?
An intelligent creator is. It makes more sense to believe God created the world and evolution or the Big Bang. That's why.
Nah, it's not. But you wanted to talk about, I thought you wanted to talk about Isaiah 53.
Yeah. Isaiah 53, verse 12.
Mm-hmm.
He bore the sin of many and made intercession for the transgressors. How can that be the nation of Israel, like you claimed?
Do you know that the Israelites every single day in their prayer books pray for the nations of the world?
Are they bearing their sins?
Yeah, it's not meant to be taken literally, by the way, that the Israelites bear the
That's what
sins
it
of the
says.
nations, but it's more like the idea that the nation of Israel, they take upon themselves the beatings of the nations, and yet they pray for the nations, and when they are exalted before the eyes of the nations will turn to God and be healed of their sins. But you know why this cannot be referring to a singular individual, Laser?
Isaiah 53, verse 3 is a literal man. It's a man of sorrows.
Yeah, except for verse 8
Hebrew
refers
is
to this
singular.
man as a...
It means
Well,
a man.
no,
It cannot
not
be
in verse
human.
8. Not in verse 8. Not in verse 8. So in verse 8 it says...
He's taken from prison. The nation of Israel was taken from prison.
Yes, it's called the Babylonian exile. Catch up. It
You're
says, by
saying the
oppression
Babylonian
and judgment
exile,
he
and
was
then
taken
fathers, he's
away.
bearing sins
And as
fathers.
for his generation, who considered that he was cut off from the land of the living? And then it gives us a few words in Hebrew. Mi pesha amit negat lamo. Because of the transgression of my people, they were stricken. How can this be one person if it's called a they? It makes sense that a group of people could be called a he, because throughout the scriptures, Israel is called a he. But how could a singular person be called a they in Hebrew?
Wait. I'm pulling up my Hebrew source. Wait, I don't believe you.
Oh,
Unless you want to confirm non-binary individuals. Do you want to confirm be an accidental ally?
What are the last 4 words?
Ashlyn? Is it Ashlyn?
Yes, her name's Ashlyn. Laser, what are the last 4 words of Isaiah 53 verse 8?
Verse 8. Okay.
In the Hebrew.
Yes, I'm looking for it. Please wait. Last 4 words.
Yeah, read those Hebrew words to us.
Oh my, wait. Tessa and I think Naga. I'm not. I don't read in Hebrew. So
Me pesha ami nega, and the last word is lamo. What does lamo mean?
Where does it say lamo?
It's the last word. You see the letters lamid, mim, vav. Mi pesha ami nega lamo. What does lamo
There's
mean?
no lamo here.
Then you're not looking at the Hebrew, are you?
What word is that?
Lamo is the last word in the verse in the Hebrew text.
Nope, it's not here.
Then you're not reading. You're not actually reading the.
Good.
You're reading
I
a
have what they say.
You're reading a
the Bible-
transliteration, aren't? You're reading a transliteration, aren't you? Because you said me. Because
Yeah.
you said me pesa, which would make sense if you're reading a transliteration because you don't see that above the S. There's a diacritic mark called a charon, which tells you
Yes,
that the S is to be pronounced as an SH.
688. I'm not I don't speak Hebrew.
Thank you for the
so-
gold medal. Yeah, you don't. So in the Hebrew it says mi pesha ami negalamo. So mi pesha means because of the transgression, ami of my people, nega, which means to be afflicted or stricken, and then the word lamo, which means they were afflicted. Not he, which would be lo, lamid vav, but lamo, which is they.
Can we go to 53 verse 3? It says it's a singular person here.
Yeah, because in the Hebrew prophets,
It's not a group of people.
Laser,
Bro,
yes
yo,
or no? Yes or no?
yo,
In the
yo,
Hebrew Bible,
yo,
is the nation of
argument
Israel
TV.
ever referred to as a he?
Yeah.
All right. So when the Isaiah 53
However,
says he,
the
that
word
doesn't
is-
mean it's only a singular person,
man
does
here.
it?
It's a singular man in
It's
verse
not
3.
though, because
Be
it
honest.
says
Is
it
it a group of
isn't.
people?
Laser, you can't hear me when you're talking. I understand that a lot of the Isaiah 53 uses the word he or lo in the text, but guess what? Isaiah 53 uses the word lamo to refer to the servant, which is in the plural.
No, you're lying.
You're
A man of sorrows. It's literally
Prove
a
it.
man of sorrows.
Prove it. Prove that I'm lying, boy.
H376. It's is man of sorrows.
You've already
Is
admitted to us that you
Makop.
don't read Hebrew, and you're telling me that I'm a liar when I'm telling you that the Hebrew word lamo means them. I can show you that even in your Bible, in other verses, it correctly translates the Hebrew word lamo
Okay, show
as
me that.
them.
Jesus said, "Take heed, no man deceive you."
I don't
You're
care what
lying right
Jesus.
now.
I don't care what Jesus said. I can show you that even
you-
in your
prove.
Bible, the Hebrew word lamo gets correctly translated as they and them in other passages.
Lamo.
Yeah, it's the plural. It's the plural word they and them. It's the word used to describe the servant
The
in
word
verse
there
8.
in Isaiah 53 for him is min. What is this lamo thing you're talking about?
In verse 8, we've already read it, Laser. I
Verse
want you to
8.
I need you to lock in the last four words of Isaiah 53 verse 8. When it describes the affliction of the servant, it says, "Mi pesha
There's no
ami
lamo
nega
here.
lamo." It is there, Laser. I'm sorry
No, it
that you
doesn't.
can't
It
read
isn't.
Hebrew and that you're reading from some shoddy transliteration
Oh.
or whatever, but the word lamo is literally in every single Hebrew manuscript of Isaiah 53 verse 8.
It doesn't make sense when you read verse 9. It says, "He made his grave with the wicked." How can it be the nation of Israel?
Yeah,
That's the
yeah.
very
When
next
guess
verse.
what?
It disproves
Okay,
your
here,
argument.
watch. No, Laser, watch. I'll show you that. I'll show you how. Okay, question.
Just go to the next verse.
Laser, shush. When the children of Israel were attacked by the Babylonians, were there only wicked Israelites living in Jerusalem, or were there wicked and righteous Jews living there at the same time?
It's singular. A man.
Laser,
made his
that's not
grave.
the question. That's not the question I asked. That's not the question I asked you.
I'm sticking to the
No,
verse.
I need you to lock in and
singular
listen
man.
close. No, Laser, shut up. Listen to the question I'm asking you. When the Babylonians under Nebuchadnezzar came and sacked the city of Jerusalem, Were the people who were killed only wicked people, or were they both righteous and wicked that were attacked by the Babylonians?
That has nothing to do with the verse.
Laser, it
It's
does
a
have something to
singular
do with the
question.
verse. I guarantee if you would actually
No.
just answer the question,
You're
you'll
clutching
see
at
how it.
straws, brother.
No.
It's so weird. My Bible says this correctly.
Yeah. Laser, I need you to answer the question. If you can't answer questions, it just tells me that you're scared of the truth. So question, again,
No,
I'll
you're
ask you
being
one I'll
disingenuous.
ask you one
The
more
verse is a
time
singular
late.
question.
No, shut up. I'll ask you one more time.
Yeah.
And if you cannot answer the question, then I'll move on because it seems like you don't want an honest conversation.
Of course you're
I
gonna
will
run.
if you
It
answer
doesn't.
the question, you will see how this relates to Isaiah 53. Now, question again. When the Babylonians under Nebuchadnezzar came to Jerusalem and sacked the city, was it only wicked Israelites that were killed, or was it righteous and wicked Israelites who were killed together by the Babylonians?
Both righteous and
So there were righteous Israelites who suffered, and they were and they made their grave with the wicked, didn't they?
the word is singular. It's
Except
not
for
a
in verse
people.
8, I've actually in verse 8 though, the serpent
No.
is okay, Laser. Can the singular be used to refer to the nation of Israel in the scriptures?
Yes, but did they bear the sins of others? Were they called a man of sorrows?
Not all of us, all of the nations at that time. By the way,
Exactly. That's why
the
it doesn't
suffering,
make
the
sense.
suffering of of
You
Israel
just admitted
that
to
Isaiah
it.
53 is
Doesn't make sense.
describing is not a suffering for all people everywhere in the future. It is a suffering for the people that existed at the time of the Babylonian exile.
Can you read Isaiah 53 verse 12 in Hebrew? Read it and tell
Sure.
me if it's a group of people.
Are you going to be able to track when I read it to you in Hebrew?
I'm tracking with you, but you are lying.
No, I'm not. You don't speak Hebrew.
That's why
Lakin
I'm
aklecha lo
Hebrew.
rabim ve'o atzumim yikhalech shalal techat asher ha'arei lamavet v'nafsho va'et peshaim nichna vehu chate rabim nasa lapeshaim yafgia. Now what?
It's the word for his soul. Is it plural or singular?
Here it's singular,
Be
but it's
honest.
referring to the entire nation of Israel because, as you've already conceded, the nation of
You just
Israel can be
said
referred to. No, you already said, Laser, that the nation of Israel can be referred to in the singular, didn't you?
yes, but it's singular here. It's not talking about a
yes,
group of
yes,
people. It's not.
because the singular
How
pronouns
can they
can
bear
be
the sins
used
of
to refer
others?
to the
You just
because
said
the
it.
singular pronouns, Laser. Guess what, Laser? No one can hear you while I'm talking, so shush. Now, what Isaiah 53 is describing, to give you the actual context, is that the children of Israel suffered during the Babylonian exile, and that they are going to be exalted before the eyes of the nations. Because they suffered at the hands of the nations, yet God will raise them up. The nations are going to see this. They are going to repent and turn back to God. That's how they. That's how they receive healing. This is a concept within Hebrew that righteous people can suffer, and it results in the healing of other people because the suffering of the righteous causes people to repent. Are you talking to are you writing in the comments, or are you talking to me, Laser?
I'm talking to you. I'm talking to both.
Okay,
They're
well
replying.
don't text don't have a conversation with them. You're having a conversation with me. Now you've already admitted that the nation of Israel can be referred to in the singular. Now I'm explaining to you that if a righteous person suffers, okay, at the hands of a perpetrator, but then God exalts that person before the eyes of the perpetrator, what will this cause the perpetrator to do?
Sorry?
I do just want to say that in the beginning of this section, the very first verse of this section, titled "The Suffering Servant," in my Bible, it says, "See, my servant shall prosper he shall be exalted and lifted up. So it's very clear at the beginning that they're talking about the servant, and we have plenty of this in previous chapters that tell us who the servant is. So it's very clear who the servant
Oh
is.
yeah, Laser. According to previous chapters of Isaiah, who is the servant?
Isaiah 53 is a prophetic.
No, not Isaiah 53. I asked you. I'll ask
prophecy.
you the question again. I know hearing
The
is hard
prophecy
for you because
on
you're
its own.
thinking
It's a
about the next thing
prophecy
you want to
in the
say
future.
before I even get the words out. But according to the book of, if I start from Isaiah chapter 40 and read all the way to Isaiah 52, am I going to hear anything about the servant before Isaiah 53?
It's a prophecy. It's on its own.
Laser, my question to you again. Listen, if you
It's
seem to
not
have
on
a
its
really
own.
hard.
It's not on its own because 53 starts in the middle of this section. Like that doesn't
And-
make sense. So 53 starts with who has been what we have heard. But that
and guess
doesn't
what,
make any
Laser?
sense.
And guess what, Laser? When Isaiah wrote this, or not Isaiah, because Isaiah didn't write this section of Isaiah, but when the author of this section of Isaiah wrote this text, guess what? There weren't chapter divisions. Chapter divisions for the Bible did not come until around the medieval period. When this section of Isaiah was written, it was one continuous text. So
No,
I'm going to
it
ask you a
wasn't.
question, and
Why
I'm going
would
to
we
ask
put
you.
in the
I'm going to
separate
ask you a
chapters?
question to test your ability to read the scriptures.
Oh.
Yes or no? Is Isaiah 53 the first time that the servant is brought up?
You're talking about a specific.
No, I'm going to ask you the
prophecy.
question one more time. According to the book of the prophet Isaiah, is this the first time that the servant is mentioned in the text?
I am not gonna say I'm a Bible scholar and say yes or no, but this
Well, I'll
is
tell you the
prophecy.
answer. I'll just tell you the answer. The answer is no.
I'm not gonna
Isaiah
lie
53 is
for
not
weeks
the first time.
like you.
That, no one can hear you while I'm talking.
Yeah.
This is not the first time that the servant is brought up in the text. Isaiah 41, Isaiah 44, Isaiah 45, Isaiah 48, and Isaiah 49 all mention the servant, and they tell us explicitly who the servant is. They tell us
Do
repeatedly.
not fear, O Jacob, my servant, Jeshurun, whom I have chosen. Remember these things, O Jacob and Israel, for you are my servant. For the sake of my servant Jacob and Israel, my chosen, the Lord has redeemed his servant Jacob. You are my servant Israel, in whom I will be glorified.
Wow. So if I read this verse in Isaiah, Laser, and I read the rest of the literally 6 verses that tell me the servant is Israel over and over again, once I get to Isaiah 52 verse 13, it says, "Behold, my servant shall be highly exalted and lifted up." If I read it in context, because context is important, who should I think the servant is? Pretend you and I are 2 Jewish men living 100 years
Jesus.
before Jesus. Would you be able to convince me that this is the Messiah?
Yes, it's Jesus.
Oh, no. You and I live 100. You and I live 100
That's
years.
the claim.
Yeah, you and I live 100 years before the time of Jesus. We are 2 Jewish men, and we have Isaiah opened up before us. How would you convince me that this text is about the Messiah?
Isaiah is referring to a future. It's a prophecy about the coming Messiah.
Well, my brother, my fellow Jewish brother, where does the text say anything about a Messiah? Because it describes the servant as having already suffered.
The servant is special, is he not?
Yeah, because Israel is special.
Okay, when was Israel wounded for everybody else? Was wounded for the transgressions?
Oh, yeah,
when was they bruised?
this happened during the Babylonian exile.
When was they stricken that their face changed?
Yeah, during the Babylonian exile.
Yeah, and this is complete in Ezra and Nehemiah.
I've
And
never heard this from any Jew today about them being stricken.
yeah, the
for
prophecy
sins of
comes
others.
through within the text in Ezra and Nehemiah. So,
by the way,
so this is clearly in the same time period.
By the way, Laser, this isn't about all
You
Jewish
don't-
people throughout. Laser, this isn't about all Jewish people from all time. This is specifically about the righteous remnant of Israel during the Babylonian exile only. That's what this prophecy pertains to. No other period of history.
My days. You guys are very good at lying.
Yeah, Laser.
Unfortunately.
No, you're very good at like not understanding what words mean. So, Laser, I'm gonna give you two sentences, and I want you to tell me the difference between these two sentences. Sentence number one: I went to the store. Sentence number two: I shall go to the store. What's the difference between these two sentences?
I can't. I can't have a logical explanation. I
Well,
can't
Jesus fucking Christ, that's not an answer to why I asked you.
swear in Jesus.
No,
So
Jesus fucking
disrespectful.
Jesus fucking Christ. So God damn it, I'll swear as much on that dead
Well, it's
magic
not
rabbi.
much.
I'll swear
Christ on
on
a
that.
bicycle.
Yeah, I'll swear on that dead rabbi all day long. I don't fucking care. He's a corpse and he doesn't give a shit what I think about him. Now, Laser, I just muted him, so I doubt if he can't figure out the mute button this time, then I'm just going to drop him. But I'll ask you the question one more time, and we'll see if you have the ability to answer. What's the difference between these two sentences? I went to the store versus I shall go to the store. What is the difference? Work that unmute button. I'll give you 5 seconds to figure out how to work the unmute button. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you're gone. Thank you for demonstrating that you don't know how to read. And you don't know how buttons work.
Those
Right.
might be correlated, actually.
Symbols are hard. Magma milk. And Terrence, I'm not bringing you up. I don't know why you keep asking to come up.
Hold on. We are at 60.9K. Let's get us up to 100 if you could, please. And likes, make sure you're tapping, sharing out. If you could repost. And if you have it available, maybe send a heart me at all to help the algorithm so we can have great conversations.
Magma milk, I'm going to ask you the same 3 questions I ask every single one of my guests before we can move forward with the conversation. Question
Go
number
right
1,
ahead.
are you at least 18?
I am, yes.
Question number 2, are you a Bible believer?
Half and half. If I hope that doesn't sound too wishy-washy. I'll get to that in a second if that's okay.
Question number 3, what are your pronouns?
They, them.
All right. Magma milk, they, them. I'm Dalton the Bible guy. I don't believe in the Bible. Magma milk, why should I believe in the Bible?
Okay, so it might take a bit just because of everyone else's approach. I'm going to take a different approach, so just give it a bit. But the Bible.
Thank you for the bat hat.
Pardon? Oh.
Oh, I was talking to yeah.
Yeah. The Bible is a physically written book, therefore it exists. Ha.
I do agree. I do keep a copy on hand.
Yes.
I do believe that the Bible exists.
Gotcha.
So was that your okay?
Yeah.
Well, let's look at that, guys. Someone has finally defeated the Bible guy.
I am the champion.
All right. Well, Magma Milk, thank you for coming up, and I needed that
Thank
little
you,
bit
thank
of
you.
a reprieve. You have a good day.
Take care.
Guys, remember, the Bible is accurate when thrown at short distances.
Oh man, Terrence, you're not coming up, bud. You don't listen. This is another problem that a lot of Christian men have, like Terrence, is that they don't understand boundaries, and they don't know that no means no. So when I say no, Terrence, you're not coming back up. That doesn't mean keep pushing yourself on me, you freak. I will not. I feel if this is how you. I hope you don't treat women like this. This is very problematic. No, Karen, you can't cook me because you can't even answer a
There's
single
a
fucking question.
high probability that she. I guess was it she? She does.
Yeah,
Do we get
Terrence
pronouns?
is a she.
Oh, okay. Yeah, she. There's a high probability that she does that.
Let's see. Lindsay says Christian men are mostly misogynist, which is why they like the Bible so much. Yeah, because it confirms them in their misogyny. See, and he just asked to come up again. See, I don't understand because I muted him. Now he can't run his mouth. I'll just let him sit down there for the rest of the show. I won't exit off of him from being in the in the waiting queue, but he can just sit there in limbo for the rest of the show. I don't care. Anyways, let's see what else we got here. Bible papers are useful for other things. Dr. Ajim, when you're stuck in a hotel room all by yourself and you have grass on you and you have Bible papers. Yeah, I agree. Look at this, guys. My mother brought me some Ferrero Rocher chocolates.
I have a message for Terrence.
Why are you so obsessed with me?
Why are you so obsessed with me? Let's see. Blessed Mama said, we used it in prison for everything. Yeah. Absolutely. Yes, Hart, best chocolates. I agree. Ferrero Rocher is the best chocolate out there. And I'm pretty sure I believe that not just because it tastes good, but because the advertisements for it were really fucking good. Back in the day, they used to like have the gods coming down and taking Ferrero Rochers, like, oh, it's the candy of the gods. It was like such good advertising that I guess I just bought it as a kid, and I still love it to this day. Yes, it's the crunchy soft combo.
You should tell people how useful your Quran is. I know that's kind of odd topic, but I just thought of that.
I have one copy of the Quran right now, and it's being used right now to prop up my fridge so it doesn't make a weird noise during these lives. So my fridge stands on the word of Allah. And to be fair, I probably only do that because it's such a cheap copy of the book. If I had like a really fancy leather bound one, I probably wouldn't do that just because I like books a lot. But because it's such a cheap copy, then it's like, oh, it can sit on my.
I found out. You know the translation we got at Barnes and Noble that I have of the Quran?
Yeah.
It's not a very good translation.
Oh, well, what are you gonna do? We have a new
has
guest
the Arabic
here.
in it though.
Called Why Are You Here? Why are you here? I'm going to ask you the same 3 questions I ask every single one of my guests, irrespective of who they are. Question number 1, are you at least 18?
Yes, sir.
Question number 2, are you a Bible believer?
I think some parts are true, but I don't believe in the whole thing now.
Do you believe Jesus was the Messiah?
Yeah.
Okay, we can work with that then. Question number 3, what are your pronouns?
He, him.
All right. Why are we here? He, him. I'm Dalton, the Bible guy. I don't think Jesus was the Messiah. Why should I think he was?
I mean, it just like the Bible says that he's like a prophet from Nazareth.
Yeah, but he had failed prophecy, so I shouldn't accept him.
Do you like okay, when you say like failed prophecies, do you mean like he had failed miracles too, or?
No, like he prophesied that things would happen in the future that didn't come to pass. For example, he told his disciples in Matthew 16, verses 24 through 28. Then Jesus told his disciples, if any man should come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross and follow me. Verse 28:7 actually. For the Son of Man is to come with his angels in the glory of his Father, and then he will repay every man for what he has done. Truly I say to you, there are some standing here who will not taste death before they see the Son of Man coming in his kingdom. Now, everyone from that generation died, and Jesus never returned.
Yeah, I agree.
So he's a failed prophecy, and according to the Hebrew Bible, I should reject him as a prophet.
Is like okay, so like I know that the Messiah of Israel, he's supposed to have like an army, right?
Well, we technically don't see anything about an army in the Hebrew Bible, but he does make war against the enemies of Israel, and he conquers their enemies, and Jesus never did that.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like he's supposed to be like a prophet of like war and stuff, right?
Well, we don't have anything in the Hebrew Bible that tells us the Messiah will be a prophet, just that he will be a king, which Jesus wasn't.
Okay, I got you. Um, okay, my real question was like, do you know any good resources to where I could learn Hebrew?
Sure. Actually, are you familiar with the it's called the Great Courses Plus?
No, sir.
So there's an app that you can get called the Great Courses Plus. It's like Netflix, but for people who like to learn things. And they have educational courses on almost any topic, including an education course on biblical Hebrew. I would go there.
Do I have to pay for it?
It is a monthly subscription. But technically, for any source, any good source for learning Hebrew, you're going to have to pay for it.
Got you. And what's it called again?
The Great Courses Plus.
The Great Courses Plus. All right, thank you.
Absolutely.
It's great. It's great. I learned a little bit of Koine Greek on there.
Yeah, and they have things for every single sort of course you could possibly think of. Ashlyn was learning Koine Greek. They got history on there. They got language. They got mathematics and science. They got everything.
I was constitutional law. Also, I was learning on there as well, and great source for that.
I had someone in the comment section ask if Fluffy Dragon Pants says, does Duolingo have it? Duolingo will probably have modern Hebrew, but you're not going to find ancient biblical Hebrew on Duolingo.
TikTok Chris goes, what's it called? It is called Great Course. Oh,
here, I'm going to type it.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I'm going to type it in the comments
headphones.
for everyone.
Great Courses. Yeah, Great Courses. I'm sorry, my headphones just went out. I apologize. Great Courses. Yeah, there we go.
The Great Courses
and
Plus.
you can share it. The only thing is if you watch the same video, because Dalton and I are using the same account, they're not like Netflix. They haven't invested in that technology. So if one of you gets it and y'all both want to study the same video, just you just write down the time that you were at or whatever, or the episode you were on, and you can go back to that.
Absolutely.
Shh, don't say it. They're not listening.
Aurelia says, that random person in Skyrim that screams at you because he has no purpose except you. What are we talking about? Which person in Skyrim? I play a lot of Skyrim. I have no idea what you're talking about. If you have value, that upsets them. Who? Christians? Upsets the Christians? Oh, Dory says, I learned Hebrew in the 80s. I can read it well, but I don't know all the words. Hey, Dory, samesies. I know quite a bit of Hebrew, but I'm not absolutely fluent in it. I just know it well enough to be able to debate these Bible topics. See how he's trying to weaponize anything. Aurelia, are you talking about me? I have no idea what you're talking about. How about you try to beat me up with your value because you have none? All right, Aurelia. Looks like Aurelia's just
very Christian, so Christian of you to say a person doesn't have value. Just that it's that love, that Christian love, guys. Don't you feel it? Do y'all feel that Christian love?
Aurelia isn't making sense. Got to move on. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, I agree that it really was on something. Anyways, David says, Bible guy, what would you say about when Christians want to say that the Gospels are historically sourced evidence? For I would say to them that, one, we don't know who wrote the Gospels, and two, they never cite their sources, unlike other historians, and three, they contradict each other on many accounts. So the Gospels aren't history; they're myth about Jesus.
Another good resource for this to like show a Christian, if they say like, "Oh no, it's like titled Matthew," you can actually go to Center for New Testament Restoration and pull up the actual manuscripts. And the earliest one, Papyrus one, seems to just have an alpha at the top of it, and they seem to be labeled by the Greek alphabet rather than having a title. So to just give them concrete evidence.
SD Benson says, "You a regular Christian?" I hope you're not talking about me because I'm not a Christian whatsoever. Who is this person at the truth? Gary was lukewarm. A Christian is someone who repents from sin, not murders people. I mean, tell that to the millions of Christians who murder people in the medieval period. Also, like, you don't get to gatekeep Christianity. Like, you're not at the truth. You're not the determining factor for who is and isn't a Christian. On this channel, we consider Catholics Christian, Jehovah's Witnesses, Mormons, Protestants, Orthodox. We consider all of them Christian.
I bet you they're more likely a follower of Paul, if anything, than Jesus. It's very likely.
Yeah, Ashley, it's the new truth cosmic fallacy, exactly. Yeah, and they probably are a follower of follower of Paul Ash. Gee whiz.
So many ashes.
So many ashes. What is this? Ash Wednesday? Jesus Christ. Famba says there are different accounts about the Holocaust too. That doesn't mean it didn't happen. Well, you're not gonna have. There are different accounts, but those accounts don't have contradictory like historical like points. It's not like we have like multiple sources talking about the experience of one inmate from Auschwitz and they contradict each other. That's not comparable to the Gospels whatsoever. Center for what? Center for the Restoration of the New Testament. It's
it's Center for New Testament Restoration. That's what it's called. It's Greek CNTR.org.
We're not the Judeans People Front. We're the People's Front of Judea. If you know that joke, you know. But Eichmann was just following orders, sort of like Christians today. Yeah. Is there really a difference between Christians who just follow blindly what God says versus a Nazi who follows blindly what Eichmann said? Dirty Rotten Dog says, W. Monty Python.
I think you concussed all the Christians so they can't come up anymore.
Yeah, we're going to be live for at least another hour, so I'm going to need some Christians to come up here and get on with it. Stand on business. Gird your loins and come up and like debate me. Or like give me a reason to believe that the Bible is true. Do you believe in do you believe in writings by Homer, Socrates, or Aristotle? Well, Homer wrote about myths, so no, I don't believe that the things that Homer wrote about were true. Now Socrates and Aristotle, they wrote about philosophy, but no, generally I don't agree with Aristotelian philosophy. Yeah, also Socrates didn't write, his followers wrote his works. Hooper says, put on the whole armor of God, you're going to need it. Hard pass. I don't need any armor from God. Especially if it's made out of iron, God wouldn't wear it because God hates iron. Hey, Micaiah.
Hi, but technically Homer did write one truth, and that was the city of Troy.
Yeah.
That is the only record we have of that from the ancient world.
What about Neoplatonic metaphysics? No, I don't hold to any form of these like ancient, like
they're weird. Like they were clearly ancient people. I mean, Aristotle's conception of the soul, the psyche. I remember like learning a lot about that because we have to take philosophy of psychology. Like I don't think that plants have a nutritive soul. I don't think that animals have a sensitive soul, and I don't think humans have a rational soul. I get where he was coming from, but these are just weird. He also was kind of okay with slavery.
Ooh.
He
Oh
was
yeah,
pretty.
he said that it was a fundamental trait of the world.
Yeah,
So.
because they lack rational deliberation. So, well, maybe some things we probably do agree with Aristotle. I don't think that it's a good basis. It's fun to learn about. Dalton has a beautiful soul. His name is Duncan, actually.
Shut up. No, stop.
Also, hi Jay, Micaiah. I don't know what name you go by anymore. I'm sorry.
Jay for people who knew me back then, and Micaiah for everybody else.
And Brian,
apparently the Antichrist because my name is demonic from some random Christian I met.
Jordan, the city of Jericho, wasn't destroyed when the Bible says it was destroyed, y'all. S.D. Benson, your guests are boring as you. You talk a lot for someone who doesn't have any good points to bring up, SD. How about you come up here and give me a reason to actually believe in the Bible if you think we're so boring? I doubt you'll actually be able to answer my first 3 questions.
SD, we don't bite that hard.
Not unless you want me to, baby. Dalton. Oh, wait, what? Sorry.
I mean, Duncan. See.
His name is Durden.
Now I kind of want a coffee.
Wasn't King James a demonologist? Yes, he was very interested in demonology.
Yeah,
but
there's
a lot
whole
of people,
demonology book from that time period too, from King James.
a lot of religious people were interested in demonology in that time. Again, Terrence, you're not going to come up, buddy. I'm sorry. You take Mormon guests? I do take Mormon guests, but but we're not going to talk about the Book of Mormon. We'll talk about the Bible and why I don't believe in the Bible.
I have.
I don't know.
The Mormons ambushed me recently when I was trying to get home.
Oh no!
I'm walking up to a door in my apartment building, and they're like, "Do you believe in our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ?" I'm like, "How do you guys get in here? It is a locked building."
Yeah, Lindsay made a good point. So boring, and yet SD hasn't scrolled on.
Just tell them you have the curse. Can't they see?
Huh? No, I told them that I was very faithful in my own practice, but thank you.
Oh, the curse.
While I was wearing,
she's only half cursed or something like that, right?
You're only half cursed.
For anyone who doesn't know, according to original Mormon mythology,
according to the original Mormon doctrine, lovely black people exist because they were followers of Lucifer. Also, their perception.
Oh no,
of
because
Lucifer
they were neutral.
Weird.
They became black because they were neutral. They didn't pick sides. So the ones who chose to side with Satan became demons, and the ones who sided with God became like angels and spirits who was sent down to earth. And then neutrals, because they were indecisive, were cursed to be black, according to Mormonism.
And not to mention, Lucifer and Jesus are brothers in Mormon doctrine, which is the funniest thing ever. Not to mention, they're only Mormon because they want their own planets.
Satan, they says, "Oh yeah, I'm cursed." LMAO. Let's see. Religion fascinates me, but you're not a believer. Like, what the hell's going on, SD? So it's not boring then? Yeah. Make up your mind, SD. I do want to read the Mormon book, said Blessed Mama. Hey, if you want to read it, that's fine for you. For 2026, I'm going to try to make it a point of actually reading through the Quran. But if you're a Muslim out there and you're wondering like what commentaries or sources I'll be like reading on the Quran, it won't be Muslim sources. I'm going to be reading from Ibn Warraq, who wrote a book called What the Quran Really Says. And Ibn Warraq is an apostate from Islam, so I kind of trust him more. Because here's the thing. When it comes to learning about the Bible or the Quran or any holy text, I don't trust the believers of the holy text to actually teach me or inform me about what the Bible, what their explicit holy text says, because they read it with dogma and not data. So I always go to a non-believer to learn about what the text says.
It's been a while since I've read the Quran. I don't remember much of it either. I just remember it was very repetitive.
Yes, because taqiyya exists. That's true, Blessed Mama, that Muslims are allowed to lie in order to like preserve, like spread the faith. So you can't read and think for yourself, SD. I could just sit down and read the Bible for myself, but guess what? I'm not an ancient Israelite. And sometimes I need a scholar's help in order to take myself out of the mindset of a 21st century American white man to be able to put myself within the context of actual Israelites. Like you just sitting alone in your room and reading your Bible is how all these different denominations came about. It's why none of these Christians actually knows the Bible. Why did God imbue a tree with the knowledge of good and evil? Did the angel /demon /Satan eat from it? God invented the fruit for the knowledge of good and evil because it was a convenient plot device to push the story forward. And that's all. There's no reason outside of that.
That's it. Nothing else to it.
SD Benson, I doubt you know the Bible all that well. So you talking about thinking for yourself? I do think for myself, which is why I'm able to judge between the information that I get from scholars, but I seriously doubt you know the Bible better than me. You talk a lot of smack.
I don't think Dalton necessarily agrees that women are property.
Oh yeah, I disagree with the Bible. It says women are property. Oh, is strengthening Christ here?
Why doesn't SD come up? It's so weird. It's like
he's chicken.
Yeah, it's like he's a coward.
So is
and he doesn't want to defend his.
Strength in Christ is also a huge coward. Like they always run their mouths in the comment section.
Strength in Christ is just doing Pascal's wager.
Yeah, they don't know how to actually like.
He's like
believe
or burn for eternity.
Yeah, everyone
Right.
give a bunch of baby bottles to Strength in Christ. That'd be fantastic. Jimmy Fontaine says the projection of these Christians is crazy. That's all they got. That's all they can do is project. It's crazy. Like the first time I ever noticed Christian projection is when Faith Turek said something as stupid as, "It takes more faith to believe to be an atheist than to be a Christian." Like, okay, Turek, whatever you say, they hardcore are projecting it all the time. Yeah, get some chickens in there too. Let's see, live in 30 minutes. So actually, at 4:30. I'm going to end the live because at 4:30, the Atheist Experience will be going on, and I'd like to watch that. So, if you're any Christians out here who aren't phony gods and phony religious books, I agree. If there are any Christians out there, unlike Strength in Christ, who aren't absolute cowards or SD, and would like to come up and talk to me about the Bible, come on up. In fact, here, Strength in Christ, I'm just going to mute you. And the only way you'll be able to run your mouth is if you run your mouth up here with me. How the fuck do I mute him? Let's see.
You can just tell the mods to do it or ask them.
Oh yeah,
that's rude.
I forget about that. I forget that I have wonderful, wonderful mods like Grumpy Butterfly and Ashley Ash and Lou, all the best mods out there in the world. I am so grateful to have them.
Y'all are big W
Big
mods in the chat. Also, for the Christians, but in your hearts honor Christ, the Lord as holy. Always be ready to make a defense to anyone who asks you for a reason, the hope that is in you. So Christians, 1 Peter is telling you that you need to defend your faith.
Josh, okay, Holy Spirit says, no one is a coward, brother, but we operate as the Holy Spirit lead. No, Josh, you are a coward. You'd rather run your mouth in the comment section and pretend like you actually know what the hell you're talking about. But as soon as you come up and talk to me, suddenly everyone will see that you actually don't know what you're talking about and that the Bible's full of shit. And you don't want that to happen, so you just stay in the comment section.
To be fair, I wouldn't want to get cooked either. You know, it doesn't sound fun.
The truth says Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. Congratulations, the truth, that you're able to quote John 14, verse 6, but quoting a Bible verse doesn't make it true. And also, I can demonstrate that Jesus was not the way, he was not the truth, and he was not the life. I mean, he's fucking dead.
I mean, we can start quoting Bible verses. I don't know. Dalton, do you still remember my favorite Bible verse?
No, I don't remember what your favorite Bible verse
It's in
was.
Genesis.
Oh man. No, I don't remember.
Genesis 6:7.
Oh, that God was regretted that he had ever
I
made
will wait
man.
6'7".
6'7". That's such a
I
Gen
work,
Z.
I work with teenagers. Oh, we've got a P3DO in the
P-Mar.
chat.
P Mars, also known as P3DO, is also a
yeah.
coward who would never dare come up and talk to me about the Bible because he probably doesn't know
Also-
the Bible all that well.
Also, my favorite is still one of your favorites, Dalton. I know you're going to be able to tell me what it is. If only you would keep silent, that would be your wisdom.
Yeah.
Exclamation mark.
Yeah, if only you would be silent for that would be your wisdom. Absolutely. Actually, I do, but I also know that you know what the text says. Yeah, I know it better than you do, Josh. You an atheist? I am an atheist. Then he insulted me by bringing up my past failures. Who? I don't know anything about your past failures. I mean, I only know about your past failures in trying to convince me the Bible is true. Man, these hands are hot from all the fire I've been slinging.
You sound like a Pentecostal pastor.
Take says P Mars and Darth don't get near this many viewers. I mean, it's because they suck ass and all they do is
Wait. I need to edit the video. Darth Dawkins doesn't think that the Grand Canyon was formed naturally through erosion. He argues that it wasn't. I mean, none of us are surprised. Fork found in
George
kitchen.
Dawkins, I can't remember if it was him or not, but I'm pretty sure he thinks ancient
Please,
Egypt
ladies,
was in
call
the
him
Grand
Gary.
Canyon.
Gary.
Gary.
Yeah, his name is Gary.
Thinks that ancient Egypt was in the Grand Canyon.
Yeah, or as I call him,
He's
Gare
that
Bear.
type of person.
Care Bear. Yeah, no, I have video of it. I need to edit that because it was hilarious. It was absolutely hilarious. I was busy, but I turned my phone on and I recorded. And the things they will say.
So I wish Gare Bear would come up here and talk to me about the Bible, but you just know that as soon as I disproved him on one point, he would just go, well, you can't actually know the interpretation of the Bible because without God, you'd have no way of knowing what's true. Or some bullshit like that. That was a really spot on Gary impression, y'all.
It was beautiful. Yeah, he followed me at one point. I don't know why. It's like, don't come near me. I don't trust you. If you believe in the Bible, you've got some sus morals about women.
His account, his backup account follows me still.
People don't like hearing repent or burn, but that's what Paul preached. Yeah, well, the truth, guess what? Why should I give a fuck what Paul thought? He was just
Are
a
you
random...
celibate? Paul
Yeah,
believed you should remain celibate.
Yeah. Like Paul was just a random Israelite who had a visionary experience where he thought he had some sort of experience with Jesus. I don't give a fuck what he had to say, especially when he contradicted Jesus himself.
Paul also thought the world was going to end within his lifetime.
Yeah.
Which is why he said
fair,
be celibate.
To be fair, they all said that because Jesus said it would.
We've been saying
but,
that since 2,000 years ago.
Yeah.
I miss Rapture Talk. Is it still going on?
It is. There's a new date.
Oh.
No. I know you
It's
are like
currently-
cued into Rapture Talk, so it's always interesting.
It's
Here's
currently
another-
November 23rd. Again.
Here's another wild claim. So when you find out God is real and hell is real, are you going to man up and take your punishment? I will look that sadistic son of a bitch in his fiery eyes and tell them, it's on you that I'm ending up in hell because you didn't give me good enough reason to believe in you. It's all God's fault. If you can't look a fascistic cosmic deity in the face and tell him to go fuck himself, then you don't have any what's the word for
The
gumption.
the fact I would just look at him and be like, yeah, I'm sorry, it was really hard that you like willed women to be raped
Okay.
in the Bible, and then made a ton of verses about like how it's sometimes okay. Yeah, I'm not gonna believe in you. That's weird.
I'm going to bring up a guest now, Tech Man. Tech Man, I'm going to ask you the same 3 questions I ask every single one
They're
of my guests.
friendly.
Oh. Are you a friendly? Techman, are you aware? Do you know that you're up?
Oh, sorry, I accidentally requested, I guess.
You're good. You're good. You have a good
Okay,
day.
thanks.
Enjoy your
Keep up
walk.
the good work.
Absolutely. For some reason, my backup account is having a problem where it won't let me request, like accept people's requests. So let me just fix that. Boop. All done. I could hear the footsteps. Oh yeah, he was enjoying his walk, and I hope he has a good walk.
Oh, wait, Dalton. Can you help me
Mhm.
decipher something from Rapture TikTok?
Sure.
So I've heard 2 dates. I've heard it November 23rd, and then there's also someone, there's a little group saying it is the 9th month of the 23rd day of the Enoch calendar.
So the reference to Enoch calendar is that, so the Jewish people had their own calendar that they generally went by, but the Qumran community had their own special calendar that they went by that was different from the traditional regular Israelite calendar. And some fundamentalist Christians, for some reason, who think that the Book of Enoch is worth anything, even though we all know it's a forgery, believe that it's like the true prophetic calendar. So that's what they try to go by. I think it's a solar calendar.
Yeah, I was like, I couldn't find a direct answer online, so I was like, I know the Enoch calendar is stupid. So I was like, I don't know what he was on, but he has a small little cult following. And I was like, well, all right, whatever you say.
Grumpy Butterfly says the Bible clearly states that only God knows the day of rapture. Not even Jesus knows. Not even Jesus knows, because guess what? Guess
have mixed
this is gonna piss off a lot of my Christian watchers right now. The New Testament doesn't make the claim that Jesus is God, and he wasn't God.
They have an excuse
How about
for
them
that.
apples?
They
I
said
hope
God changed his mind, so now people can know, or we'll get pretty close to the dates to prepare.
Well, God is kind of flaky in the Bible, so I could see that being true. He does like to change his mind a lot. We got here, over here. It says in the comments, what was that? What was that about? Oh, Satan. They said, I hope hell has great Wi-Fi. Listen, if all the scientists, all the good scientists, are ending up in hell because they don't believe, it definitely has Wi-Fi by now.
Wi-Fi
and air conditioning. So and probably like a pool. It's probably gonna be a sweet
They probably
experience.
figured out how to turn the hellscape into like really good like real estate land.
I wonder why all the guests today are being such cowards and not coming up. But you know what? Grumpy
It's the
says
Sunday.
God is flaky. He was the bread of life, but had an aversion to yeast.
Guys, also, if you do happen to come face to face with God, just remember to get an iron chariot. You'll be good.
Or a foreskin. He hates foreskins. Just like wrap
Yeah,
yourself in
foreskin.
some foreskins, and it's like garlic to a vampire, basically. Anyways, guys, thank you so much. I'm gonna go ahead and end the live now because we aren't getting any requests up because all the Christians today have been cowards. So I make sure you're following Micaiah and Ashland, and make sure you're following us on the Bible Guy YouTube channel, where you can watch this debate and more debates like it. And I've been the Bible Guy, and we will see you tomorrow on the Deconstruction Zone. Bye.
Bye.